High school sports fans, are you following Varsity Media on our YouTube channel? For the best coverage of New York high school sports, make sure you head to youtube.com/varsitymedia. 3 easy steps. First, hit that like button, and then be sure to subscribe. And finally, tap that yellow bell to be notified of all of our upcoming sportscasts. Thank you for following Varsity Media on YouTube.
Maspeth Federal Savings is here through it all. The ins and outs, the ups and downs. Through the winters, the summers, and even the spring of leaks. Know that Maspeth has your back. From luxury sheets to balance sheets to dancing under the stars, your mission is our mission. And when our community calls, we proudly step forward. So whether you need it now or planning for tomorrow, through all the twists and all the turns, you can always find us right here in your neighborhood.
High school sports fans, Varsity Media is the exclusive live stream media partner of Nassau County playoffs. For semifinal and championship coverage of soccer, volleyball, field hockey, and football, head to varsitymediapass.com to order. Varsity Media is the home for New York high school sports.
The playoffs have arrived in South Huntington. So too have the Cardinals from the Bronx. Cardinal Hayes and St. Anthony's, they played a classic during the regular season, and now they meet in the quarterfinals. It is the CHSFL AAA quarterfinals, the 4-5 matchup between visiting Cardinal Hayes and the host Friars of St. Anthony's. Today's Catholic football playoff matchup presented by Maspeth Federal Savings as well as Catholic Health. We welcome you inside the booth, Dylan Butler alongside Tom Rooney for what should be a sensational game. Listen, if you love high-scoring football, this is the place to be. And if we've learned one thing, Tom, from 2 months of regular season, it's that we still don't know who will win this whole thing, but we do know there's 5 teams in the mix. Tonight, there's 2 of them here.
Yeah, you have 2 of the best teams in one of the best conferences in New York State. 2 high-powered offenses. Both put up 50 points the first time they met. Both are capable of winning this league, but somebody's got to win this game. They got to get by tonight's game.
So in addition to these 2 teams, you've got Stepanak, you've got Iona, and you've got Monsignor Farrell. Tom, we'll take a look at the bracket now, and you see the matchups. All of these, which is fun, all of these are tonight. So we'll have a ticker on the bottom of the screen. We'll show you some updates as this goes along. But you see it's Chaminade, Stepanak, St. Anthony's, Hayes, of course, Farrell, Trinity, and Iona, Kellenberg. So it's really, last year was a three-horse race between Stepanak, Iona, St. Anthony's. This year, you add in 2 more in Hayes and Monsignor Farrell. Hayes is a team, Tom, that you can argue within the league, as you see the guys here getting ready for the start of this one, they have the most impressive in-league win of the year. They're the only team yet to have beaten Archbishop Stepanak.
Yeah, they beat Stepanak. They lose a really tough game on the road early in the season to St. Anthony's. They're as good as anybody. They may be the best team in the league. I'm sure Stepanak would have something to say with that. But they're really good, and they have a chance to win this. And
as we mentioned in the beginning, an explosive offense. Let's take a look at 2 of the players to watch for Cardinal Hayes. And listen, it feels like it's a little bit of the Achilles heel against St. Anthony's. If you're able to run the football, you get success. And that's where Kenneth Antoine will step in. He's a guy, along with Rich Beelan, who of course will detail throughout the game, has that ability to get downhill and to get between tackles and run the football. And Blake Beelan on the other side, he is a beast, man. He and Kamari Valentine, especially up front form a terrific duo, and Beelan would be looking to put a lot of pressure on St. Anthony's quarterback, Gary Merrill, and try to keep him contained. Both quarterbacks love to get out and scramble, which is another reason why this is a fun one.
Yeah, Antoine is a really tough kid. He's super fast. He's very, very strong, built low to the ground, and he gets in behind that big offensive line. And on the other side, Beeline is a legitimate Division I defensive tackle. He is really big, but a really good athlete for a kid that size.
His older brother, or their older brother, Henry, a quarterback at Duke. So all three of the Beelan boys will go on and play collegiate football. As you see the huddle there across the way, and there he is, even catching a football or two, is Blake Beelan. St. Anthony's, listen, they had a chance in week 8 of the regular season to perhaps get the number 1 seed, as they did last year. It was the same road they had to get through, going to White Plains. They suffered a setback, though. They lose to Stepanak, so they're here. They dropped from the potential of being the 1 all the way down now to the 4. It is a team, Hayes is healthy, St. Anthony's is not, but still, listen, it's a championship pedigree team, winning it last year, and this is what they play for here in South Huntington. Playing in November was usually when you get the best out of St. Anthony's.
Yeah, there's going to be no excuses from the St. Anthony's coaching staff and these kids. This is a really talented team, and if you watch the Stepanak game, they were right in that game. Stepanak's not an easy place to play on a Friday night there, and St. Anthony's was right there. So, they're looking to rebound. They're at home. They're under the lights in their own backyard here, and I think we're going to get a really good football game here tonight.
And of course, as we've detailed throughout most of this season, with so many St. Anthony's broadcasts, you need your big guys to come up in the biggest games of the year. And for the Friars, it is, of course, KJ Duff, the 6'5", 210-pound receiver. You see his numbers on the year. He's a verbal commit to Rutgers. And then Dante Vidaro in that middle of the linebacking group. His numbers as well, really impressive, leading the team in tackles. You see the sacks as well, a UPenn lacrosse commit. They have their work cut out for them, but again, it's November, right? So you expect these two guys to shine.
Yeah, what's really impressed me about KJ Duff is, we know he can go up and get the football at 6'5". The amount of tackles that he breaks, the way they bring him across the field on some of these crossing patterns, he's deceptively fast, he's stronger than he looks, he's, wiry strong, and they need to get the ball in his hands. And on the other side, Vidaro is just a tremendous athlete. He's a D1 lacrosse commit. He can cover in space, he can stuff the run. I think he's blocked a punt. He's done a lot of different things. Just an awesome athlete, and he's going to have his hands full trying to stop Antoine in this Hayes offense.
We'll take a look at the keys to victory. We spoke with both coaches in the week leading up to this one. Cardinal Hayes, they have been prone to turn the ball over, so they want to play certainly a clean football game and execute an offense that is really, really dangerous, maybe the most versatile and dangerous in this entire league. And they want to, of course, contain Merrill and Duff. Easier said than done. Yeah,
first time around, they gave up a safety. They had some fumbles, some untimely penalties and things like that. And listen, everybody who plays St. Anthony's is going to say contain Merrill and Duff. Not as easy as it sounds.
For the Friars, it seems like it's been a repetitive theme for Joe Minucci. Run the football. It's super important, of course. You want to keep, especially against a high-octane offense of Cardinal Hayes, keep them off the field. Same thing. Try to contain and keep Beelan in the pocket. When he gets out scrambling, that's when he is at his most dangerous. And along those lines, limit, of course, Hayes' ability to make those big, third and long, all of a sudden goes for 55 yards. You want to cut those plays out.
Right. The St. Anthony's balance has to be there. You can't throw the ball every down to KJ Duff. So if you can establish the run and keep them off balance, that's going to help them. And the athletes on Hayes, there are just so many of them, right? We know everywhere they line up. So you really got to try to limit the big plays and make them have sustained drives. If you can have them have sustained drives, you get that opportunity for penalties and turnovers and things like that.
You see C.J. O'Neill addressing his team before the start of this one. 21st year as Cardinal Hayes head coach out of Mount St. Michael. Cardinal Hayes' big rival, 1989 graduate. They play every Thanksgiving morning. It's such a special game. part of this message we expect is what he told us, is that this is what we played the game for, to get on this bus, take the long trip out to Huntington on a Friday night, to lay it all out on the line. He said this is the excitement of it, right? Is there pressure? Of course there's pressure, but pressure, he says, is a privilege. And a lot of guys, you don't get that opportunity to have this level of excitement, of the anxiety and the pressure in their lives. So he says, look at this as a massive privilege, an opportunity to get better.
Yeah, this is a massive opportunity because they've been here before. You know, it's always tough when you take a road trip, but they've done this road trip. They did it earlier in the season. They came away from a game that said, man, we could have won that game. Whenever you go into a playoff game with that kind of feeling, like we've been here before, we can do this, it's really an advantage.
Yeah, they've also been here in the playoffs as well, and we'll detail that as this game goes along, and have had success in South Huntington as well. So it should be an exciting one. And listen, it is a special occasion. The bagpipes are out.
Here we go.
As St. Anthony's looking to make their way onto the field. It is the Catholic High School Football League playoffs. Cardinal Hayes making the trip from the Grand Concourse with C.J. O'Neill and Joe Minucci. We know he's got his guys buzzing. It is Cardinal Hayes. It is St. Anthony's, the quarterfinals of the Catholic AAA, coming up next right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Maspeth Federal Savings is here through it all. The ins and outs, the ups and downs. Through the winters, the summers, and even the spring of leaks. Know that Maspeth has your back. From luxury sheets to balance sheets to dancing under the stars, your mission is our mission. And when our community calls, we proudly step forward. So whether you need it now or planning for tomorrow, through all the twists and all the turns, you can always find us right here in your neighborhood.
At Catholic Health, when we see our island, we see extraordinary life. The most extraordinary of which is you. It's because our Catholic faith places the highest value on people. All people. It's the inspiration for our exceptional medical care with unmatched compassion. And it's why at Catholic Health you're more than a patient. You're someone's family, best friend, and a neighbor to us all. Long live Long Island.
High school sports fans, Varsity Media is the exclusive live stream media partner of Nassau County Playoffs. For semifinal and championship coverage of soccer, volleyball, field hockey, and football, head to varsitymediapass.com to order. Varsity Media is the home for New York high school sports.
Varsity Media offers live streaming services for any sport. With human beings behind the camera, you can expect the proper coverage angles during each game. We offer customizable options such as live scoreboard, multiple cameras, instant replay, graphics, and even announcers. Find out how you can save $100 off a live stream package with Varsity Media by calling 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
Did you just have the best athletic year of your life? And now you want to show it off to college coaches? Well, let Varsity Media help you. Varsity Media's college recruiting videos show off your unique skills to help you land a spot on the team of your dream school. We'll provide music, spot shadow effects, and a link to send to your next coach. Contact us today for more information. Don't rely on word of mouth or cold emails. Let Varsity Media help you take your game to the next level.
Hey sports fans, did you know Varsity Media live stream broadcasts get viewed by college coaches nationwide? Through our announcers' storytelling and insight on your athletes, we can help your players get an edge on college recruiting. Find out how by reaching out to Varsity Media today, 516-403-2050, or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
Maspeth Federal Savings is here through it all. The ins and outs, the ups and downs. Through the winters, the summers, and even the spring of leaks. know that Maspeth has your back. From luxury sheets to balance sheets to dancing under the stars, your mission is our mission. And when our community calls, we proudly step forward. So whether you need it now or planning for tomorrow, through all the twists and all the turns, you can always find us right here in your neighborhood.
We welcome you back to Cy Donnelly Field here in South Huntington. Dylan Butler, Tom Rooney, our entire varsity media crew for the Catholic High School Football League AAA quarterfinals, as it's the 5th seeded Cardinals of Cardinal Hayes, 7-2 on the season, against the 4th seeded Friars of St. Anthony's, who come in with a 6-3 mark. See the captains of both teams going out to the coin toss. And Tom, you mentioned in the open that there's quite a history between these two teams, and this is just playoffs alone. You see in the 2021 quarterfinals, big win for St. Anthony's. Frank Ruda, 4 touchdowns. Henry Beelen, we just mentioned him before, the older brother, threw for 352 yards in that loss. 2 years prior, the 2019 quarters, Beelen had himself a day, as did Zachary Mitchell. 13 carries, 106 yards, and 2 touchdowns. In the semifinals in 2018, Hayes was here in the rain, a 1-point win. That was Rich Reichert's final game as St. Anthony's head coach. 2 years before that, it almost seems like it's every other year, right. These two teams. Christian Anderson, what a great quarterback he was. Went on and played at Army, 28 for 42, 363, a touchdown. He also ran the ball 100 for 146 yards and 3 scores. And back in 2015 as well, Hayes, 44-39 victors. Justin Covington had himself a day, 309 yards on the ground with 5 touchdowns.
Yeah, some really big names, Division I players there. And the reality is these guys are going to bump into each other. And if you want to be a champion, you're going to have to get through one or the other, right? If you're Hayes, you got to get through St. Anthony's. And, you see St. Anthony's broke through last year with a big win, and they'd like to keep that momentum going.
We'll show you the tail of the tape as you see head coach Joe Minucci for the Friars. He's excited for this one, a little bit loose. There you see the tail of tape. See the passing yards heavily favoring Hayes and the rushing yards as well. They put up, again, a ton of points. You see the difference there per game, 9 more points scored. Some really big numbers, like video game numbers for Cardinal Hayes this year.
Yeah, if Hayes gets loose, they can score in a hurry, and they have a lot of guys that you don't want to see with the ball in open space.
And Joe Minucci, his guys tasked with trying to stop those guys. 5th season as Friars head coach, 1999 graduate here at St. Anthony's.
Yeah, Coach Minucci's done a great job this year. I mean, they've had a number of guys go down with injury, and, it's a testament to him and the coaching staff that they're coaching up everybody in their program and able to just insert the next guy and have the kind of success they've had this year.
So St. Anthony's will be on offense to start, and as if it's not hard enough to try to contain Rich Beelen as a quarterback, he's also your kicker and your punter. I'm pretty sure he also drove that bus from the Grand Concourse today as well.
Yeah, he does it all. I like what St. Anthony's did here. They put KJ Duff in the middle, kind of not allowing Hayes to kick deep. Oh, and that might be a targeting penalty right there off the kickoff.
Yeah, somehow recovering it, see there, was Nick Shevlin, but he was absolutely hammered on that. So already our referee, Chris Atchison, with a decision to make. I'll let you know what the call is here. It is a personal foul targeting to Cardinal Hayes. So we'll move this up 15 yards for Gary Merrill. And what a season it's been for the St. Anthony's QB. Look at those total numbers. That's in the air and on the ground. 2,300 yards, 28 touchdowns. His coming out party, Tom, was this game in the regular season when Peyton Robinson got injured. He threw a touchdown pass to KJ Duff. was out, and there was a platoon, and Minucci said really the decision hadn't yet been made, but that made the decision, and Merrill never looked back. There you see him scrambling. Merrill getting about 9 on that first down run, an impressive one for Gary Merrill. Let's take a look at the starters and the starting lineups presented by Catholic Health in this one. Alfano, Duff, Taylor, Kenner, Meem up front, Dowling, McGregor, Chanchuli, McNaughton, and Novelli. And flags fly. Looks like there was some movement on that one. It was an 8-yard gain prior. And this is a false start against the Friars.
You put up Gary Merrill's stats as they, came on the field, St. Anthony's, and you saw 2,300 yards, and you got a good look at how he does it. They drop him back to pass, and he can throw the ball, but he's just as soon run the ball, and he got 8 yards on first down.
The penalty negates 5 of those, so it's a 2nd and 7 now for St. Anthony's. Merrill takes it, fakes the handoff. He'll get that first down and a little bit more. Good run to about the 33-yard line for Gary Merrill. Let's meet the Cardinal Hayes defense, which is presented by Catholic Health. Up front, it is a stout trio of Valentine, Lopez, and Beelan. It's Ba, Downer, Boyaki, and Smart as your backers. Corey Rock at corner along with Zayden Jeffrey, and the Rays are your safeties, Cruz and Boyd. 1st and 10 from the 32, look out. Looks like there was a fumble on, was it the snap? And Merrill did recover his own, so tragedy averted there for the Friars.
Yeah, on the previous play, Merrill does a nice job on that read option, and he keeps the ball himself. And all he needs is a little sliver, and he gets out into the second level and picked up a first down.
2nd and 15. There's the handoff. Nice cut up the middle, and the gain to about the 30 as it was Christian Alfaro running at the junior. 104 carries on the season, 474 yards and 3 touchdowns. He will play an important role here tonight.
Yeah, Alfaro runs very hard, and keying on Merrill and keying on Duff should open up a little bit for Alfaro. They're going to need him to break a couple runs here tonight.
3rd and 8 from the Cardinal Hayes 50-yard line. Merrill back to pass, has plenty of time, rolls right, just dumps it out, looking for Kenner, and Kenner is forced out. Good pursuit by that Cardinal Hayes defense. You see number 2, part of that group to make the tackle, Giovanni Downer.
Yeah, nice job by Downer running that down. And if you're St. Anthony's, you're going for it here. It's 4-down territory. And this is where they usually try to get Merrill out on the edge here, rolling him out, play action.
I think the first thing you try to do probably is see if you could draw Hayes offside. And it's an official's timeout. There's maybe some blood there for Kenner on his arm. So he'll have to come out, it looks like, for a play.
Yeah, and if you're St. Anthony's, it gives you a chance to catch your breath here and reset your offense and get a really good idea of what play do you want to run here on 4th and 6. Again, I'd like to see Merrill probably roll out a little bit. I have an idea that it may involve KJ Duff as well.
Dante Vidaro checked in offensively for Kenner. It is a banged-up receiving core, no doubt about that. Merrill hands off up the middle, and the Hayes defense gets the stop. Looked like right in the middle of it was Abdul Ba, and a big stop as Boyaki celebrates it. Tom, another look.
Yeah, I think they were trying to surprise him by running up the middle. Just a great read by Boyaki there from his linebacker position. Comes up and makes a short tackle, and it's a turnover on downs.
So Hayes, they'll get on the field, led, of course, by Rich Beelan. And the junior, outstanding numbers of his own, almost identical, right? 2,600 total yards, 29 total touchdowns for the junior, a 2-year starter. UConn, Dartmouth, Penn, Syracuse, and Temple have already offered the junior from Harlem.
Kid is so dynamic. He can throw the ball. He can run the ball. He's the true leader of this Hayes, not just the offense, but the team.
1st and 10 from the Hayes 30. Beelan fakes the handoff. Pressure comes his way. And this is, again, where he is at his most dangerous. And just gets pushed out of bounds to about the 35-yard line. Let's take a look at the Cardinal Hayes starting offense presented by Catholic Health. Antoine is your running back. Your wide receivers are Charlton, Garcia, Jones, and Harvey up front. Jenkins, Anderson, Frazier, Dunn, and Mann. A healthy starting lineup for once, really, for Cardinal Hayes. A first down run for Beelan. And the St. Anthony's defense has come swarming on that one. Excuse me, that was a 2nd and 1. Good play defensively. Let's take a look at those starting defensive players, as it looks like there's it's up front as Foote, Sanin, and Charzuk with Urso. Your linebackers are Thompson, Cook, Vidaro. In the secondary, Bolello and Moore are your corners. Valerio and Ott are your safeties. 2nd and 14. Nothing doing for Antoine. And it's the front, Tom, where there's been a lot of movement, some injuries as well. So Sanin gets his start up front. But again, it's a banged up team, but big play there by Thompson.
Yeah, no Preston carry means you're not going to get that immediate double team in the middle of the line. So you got to be a little bit more creative, and it looks like they're shooting gaps. They're really, really aggressive. Even that first down run, they had Beeline in the backfield. This is a big play early. They're going to have to try to force the ball downfield. You don't want to give up a first down here if you're St. Anthony's.
Yeah, 3rd and 17. Don't give up big plays was one of the keys for Joe Minucci. Here's Beelan looking for options. Points out a few. Tries to scramble to his left. You see the explosiveness, and it looks like Cook was the one who pushed him out of bounds. And I think there's a flag as well, right, across the way?
Yeah, it looks like there's a flag down there during the scramble. But you see Beeline dancing in the pocket. Just great awareness, great pocket presence. And then the athleticism comes out, right? And you just see him. And Sam Cook's a good linebacker there. And it might get a crackback block on Hayes there, it looked like. Yeah, blocking the back.
So Hayes have 3rd and a long. They have to get out to the 46. And you see KJ Duff now playing center field in the secondary.
Hayes counters KJ with Cleveland Charlton on the outside, their own 6'5 receiver. And, they're going to press coverage and let KJ try to run to the ball here.
There you see him. Fake handoff. Big run, and it's a first down run as well. And that's what exactly Minucci said we can't give up. It's like 3rd and 17, I think it was, and Beelan moves the chains.
Hayes is incredible. 3rd and 15 doesn't feel like 3rd and 15, right? They run read option because Beeline is so dynamic, right? And he reads it beautifully, gets out into the open field, and gets 16 yards on 3rd and 15.
Ball out to midfield now, 1st and 10 from the 47-yard line. We've not even seen Beelan yet use that electric arm of his. Now we will. And great pursuit there by Vidaro, and the help comes as well by Ott.
Yeah, that is not an easy tackle out in the open field, and Vidaro does a great job of closing the gap. Ken J. Burnham was the receiver there. We saw him in the first game. Burned St. Anthony's a few times, so obviously they've keyed on him.
And Kenji's that H position, right on the edge, tight end, Swiss Army knife for Cardinal Hayes. He's the backup QB as well. And when they had some of those 7-on-7s, when Beelan was on some college visits, it was Kenji running the show. So 2nd and 11. Handoff. And good job at least just pushing forward. I believe, yeah, it was Antoine. That's one of the things that he's been able to do, right? He's that solid, dependable, tough runner. You know, like almost like a, if you go back a few years, an Emmitt Smith type.
Yep.
Between the tackles, that would have been a loss if he doesn't lean forward. Still, though, it's a 3rd and 10, which, if we've seen anything from the last play, is kind of right where Hayes wants him. So here comes Beelan. The pressure comes his way, and Beelan is sacked.
Yeah, that's Urso, Dylan. That's Urso just beating his man and coming up the middle. We've seen what Beeline could do, right? Dance away from people. He's got great feet. Urso just closed the gap. You're going to get a look at it here. First straight drop back by Beeline, and he's got a little bit of time, and then all of a sudden Urso comes in, and that's a good short tackle because Beeline breaks a ton of tackles. Great play.
6th sack of the year for Cam Urso. Abdul Ba is your long snapper. And the punter getting it off quickly is Beelan. Fair catch is called and fumbled, but St. Anthony's will recover, as it was Braden Meem. So the Friars back on offense as the defense did its job.
Yeah, and I think if St. Anthony's, you're probably pretty happy with the way that first series went. Obviously, you got them to punt, but you know they weren't able to establish the run. It was really Beeline on some scrambles and some quarterback keeps, and that's been a point of emphasis for this program.
Handoff on 1st down, and maybe a gain of 1 on the play. As now looks like there's an injured Fryer. It's like Alfaro. And that's the last thing you need with so many injuries. You lost Johnny Russo last week, and that loss to Stepanak in your wide receiving core. I mentioned even back in the start of the year, Peyton Robinson in this game fractured his tibia, out for the year. Then Alex Mengi the next week suffered a knee injury in that big win against St. Joe's Regional. Now it's Xavier Bala in at running back. That was an incomplete pass, but a late flag is thrown. So we expect this to be a pass interference penalty against Cardinal Hayes.
Yeah, and a little play action by St. Anthony's. Merrill looks for Taylor on the slant, and Hayes just got there too early.
Well, the keys are becoming big, right? Don't make mistakes, and a pass interference penalty against Cardinal Hayes will now move the chains for the Friars.
Yeah, and there's been a couple penalties already that has given this St. Anthony's offense just a little bit of that confidence. It's so much easier to play offense, from midfield in than it is back in your own end. And listen, without Alfaro, you're going to have to see probably a little bit more Merrill here in both the passing and running game.
Of course, he's got a really good tandem in the running back position with Xavier Bala, who's now just acting as a blocking back. It goes to Kenner, who cuts it inside, and a flag is thrown in the backfield.
Yeah, Merrill was looking to go deep to KJ Duff, and Hayes did exactly what they told us they were going to do, and they double-teamed him. Early on, it looks like they're not going to let him try to get deep. And Merrill checked down, and we might get a hold here.
Well, we do get a hold as Chris Atchison makes the signal, which will push this ball back to the 40-yard line. KJ Duff. I suspect we'll see him in a lot of different spots on the field. You want to get him the ball as early and often as possible. Look out, Merrill somehow scrambles out, finds Duff. And look at Duff exploding down that far sideline.
I really like this. First, you see how athletic Gary Merrill is to get out of this trouble in his own backfield. But you can easily double a guy when he's running deep. You see this right here, great fake. And there's Merrill just getting away from trouble. But they bring Duff all the way across the formation. Really hard to double a guy when he's running across the field on those long crossing patterns. It's a nice job by St. Anthony's.
The run comes our way. It's Alfaro taken down at the 49-yard line, making the tackle Giovanni Downer. And it's funny, on that previous play, the block, the inadvertent block at least, came from Aiden Smart, who tripped up Blake Beelan.
Right.
So he got a little extra time and space.
Yeah, you got to get lucky sometimes, too.
Absolutely.
Right?
Gain of 1 on that play, 3rd and 9. Another dump, this one to Kenner. Dances, kicks it outside, kind of worked himself backwards. Kenner, he didn't continue to go north-south.
Yeah, nice job by Hayes running to the football there, not really giving him any kind of cutback lanes. And, you know, it looked like Kenner realized he didn't have much. And, you know, if you're St. Anthony's, listen, you got to find a way to have something else other than Duff on a cross and Merrill on a scramble. You're going to give the ball back to this Hayes offense that, you know, we know eventually is going to get going.
Luke Aschheim on to punt. Foot is your long snapper. And a low one that will take a bounce. Not sure what Garcia was doing there, being anywhere near the football, but it's now the Cardinal Hayes offense. So the high-scoring affair, we've not quite had it yet, right? As both teams are feeling each other out here in the really fast-moving opening quarter.
Yeah, whenever you have two teams that have faced each other before, you know, you have that automatic scout, you have that familiarity, and it does become a little bit harder, right? And that's a nice punt by Aschheim, getting it off under pressure and pinning them inside the 20. And now if you're St. Anthony's, you want to try to flip this field, right? You want to get a stop and get the ball back in a position. And if you're Hayes, you want to just keep going to Balin.
Hayes will start this drive from their own 16-yard line. It's a handoff to Antoine. Look at Kenneth Antoine. Turn it upfield. Antoine to the 20, the 10, and there's your first score. Kenneth Antoine right up the sideline. Touchdown for Hayes.
Kenneth Antoine shows great speed here, but you're going to see a tremendous block here on the bottom by Kenji Burnham, and then the rest is up to Antoine. And not many guys are going to catch him once he gets into the open field. You know, you mentioned Emmitt Smith. He wears 22. He's got this, you know, toughness and built low to the ground, but he's got that breakaway speed. And if you're Hayes, man, did you need that?
84 yards for Kenneth Antoine, as they'll now attempt the point after. The holder is Downer, and Beelan to kick. The PAT is up, and it is good. So 7-0 is your score. Cardinal Hayes gets the first big play of the game with Kenneth Antoine going to the house for 84 yards. You're watching this Catholic High School Football League playoff game presented by Maspeth Federal Savings on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
At Catholic Health, when we see our island, we see extraordinary life. The most extraordinary of which is you. It's because our Catholic faith places the highest value on people. All people. It's the inspiration for our exceptional medical care with unmatched compassion. And it's why at Catholic Health you're more than a patient. You're someone's family, best friend, and a neighbor to us all. Long live Long Island.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Welcome back to Cy Donnelly Field. Dylan Butler, Tom Rooney here with you on the Varsity Media Sports Network. As it's Cardinal Hayes drawing first blood. Kenneth Antoine, an 84-yard touchdown run, his 12th touchdown of the season. And Beelan's PAT was good, and Hayes on the road takes the 7-0 lead.
Yeah, we talked in the opener about how explosive this Hayes offense is, and it didn't take long. They get pinned inside their 20. One play, 7 points, and right now, St. Anthony's needs to get a drive going here. They cannot give the ball back to a hot offense.
1st and 10 from their own 32. You get it to your big play player, and a late flag is thrown as well. Thought Duff was hit late. So let's see if that's the call. It was a first down catch, and potentially here you tack it on. Let's take a look at Chris Atchison as he speaks with his officials.
Yeah, and I like what St. Anthony's did there. Yep, you're going to get a personal foul. But they got the ball out quickly. Don't let that D-line get any kind of rush on Merrill, right? It's catch, throw, one little block for Duff, and that's all you need. I said in the beginning, I'm so impressed with his ability to run after the catch. He's a lot stronger and faster than I think people realize, and that's a good answer right there by St. Anthony's.
It's been a remarkable 4-year journey for KJ Duff, the first player to start as a freshman on this St. Anthony's team. And look at Merrill. Certainly some of the big men for Hayes bit as Valentine went to tackle Alfaro, as Merrill only got a yard though, so the help came for Cardinal Hayes.
Yeah, Hayes runs to the football pretty well, huh, Dylan? That looked like it had a chance. They kind of bid on Alfaro, and the rest of Hayes did a good job of rallying to the ball.
It's like a broken play as Merrill just uses that athleticism to get 5 on that one.
I don't think anybody does better with a broken play than Gary Merrill. Like, he is so calm. It's probably a lot of that lacrosse background where you never know the flow of where a play is going to go. And he doesn't panic. He never panics with the football. Does a great job. I mean, that's easily anybody else could have lost a bunch of yards.
You mentioned, as that is the final play of the first quarter, what a game that we had here. You go back to week 1 of the regular season, or at least of the Catholic season. We had a week 0 game, of course, but this is the shootout. And there we mentioned Gary Merrill emerging as the starting quarterback for Cardinal Hayes. There's Cleveland Charlton getting up, making the catch for Cardinal Hayes. These two teams went back and forth. Alfaro ducks down and gets into the end zone. There is Duff in the corner of the end zone. And it looked like there was a few occasions, especially late, that Hayes looked like they were going to win this one and get a big road win. Look at Beelan pointing things out, going end zone. That's another score. And here's Beelan. They went for 2 like a lot in this one. You see there, they take a lead late in the game, but this is the big play here as Merrill gets into the end zone. Now it's decision time, right? You go for 2. You want to go for the win, and Merrill gets it for you. What a performance there. Fumble on the play, on this first play of the second quarter, and it was KJ Duff to recover. You see on the top of your screen, Stepanak, a 20-0 lead over Chaminade. We mentioned all 4 of the AAA quarterfinals are tonight, so we will endeavor to bring you all of those scores and as we move throughout this broadcast.
St. Anthony's with a fortunate fumble right there as KJ picks it up for a first down, fresh set of downs.
Alfaro tries to spin to the outside and going nowhere. Big tackle laid by 32. It's Aiden Smart.
Yeah, Smart's been around the football a lot already. Got great instincts from that linebacker spot. And Alfaro was really close to bouncing that, but Smart was there with a nice tackle.
Loss of 3 as it's the 5th tackle for loss of the year for Aiden Smart, the junior from Brooklyn. Here's Merrill to the outside. That's complete. Finding Kenner. And Kenner's the guy early on, it looked like, Tom, that You know, again, with Russo being out, Kenner inserted back into the starting lineup, and he's gotten a lot of the early action tonight for the Friars.
Yeah, I like that play. I like when they roll Merrill out, and you know, because it always gives them the option to run as well. Kenner does a nice job catching that pass.
Merrill tries to push up through the middle of that line. What's the forward progress? That's the big question here. I think he'll be stopped short of the first down marker. In fact, there's an injured Cardinal Hayes player down. That's their nose guard, Derek Lopez, who was inserted into the starting lineup alongside Valentine and Beelan. So you see again that score, Stepanak, the top seed, leading Chaminade, the 8th seed. That's in the second quarter, 20-0. All the other games are 7 o'clock starts. Farrell home for Holy Trinity, and Iona is also home, as it's like Lopez will limp off there. You see the Iona score, 28-0 over Kellenberg. So to this point, at least elsewhere, the favorites are doing what we expect them to do.
Yeah, and a little more offense there. We've only had the one big play by Antoine, but St. Anthony's now with a chance to keep this drive alive. This feels like the third time they've kind of been in this spot where they're in plus territory, and you know, you really want to convert this, and it also drains the clock, right, and keeps that Hayes offense off the field.
It's the Farrell score as well, 29-0 over Trinity. That's in the third quarter, 6 o'clock start at the Lions Den there. 4th and 1. Mara will try to push forward. I'm not sure if he got it. The defense up front for Hayes, they're celebrating, and they will, it looks like, get the stop. So a second time that Hayes has made a big defensive stop.
Yeah, we highlighted, you know, Blake Beelan and the rest of those guys, that D-line before the game. This is a really tough group to run inside against. You have 250-plus guys across the board, 315. I think Balin's 280. You know, there's some big boys. That's a nice job by the Hayes D-line.
You got Valentine at 315. Lopez just came off. He's at 235. But then if you got McFall there, he's at 219. Beelan, you mentioned, 280 as well. So some beef there up front. 1st and 10 from the 18-yard line. Here's Rich Beelan, airs it out, finds a receiver along that far sideline. And breaking tackles there as well. Eli Garcia.
Yeah, I was really impressed with Garcia in that first game. He seems to have a really good connection with Beeline. Runs great routes, and you can see what Beeline does here as he rolls, little play action. Throws Garcia a nice ball there. He just settles in and makes the first guy miss.
So first down for Hayes. Garcia is the one who does it. 1st and 10 from the 27-yard line. Beelan calls his own number. Look at how shifty he is as well. All those starts and stops, trying to find those seams in the defense. Gets out to about the 45-yard line.
Yeah, Beelan can do it with the pass. He can do it with the run. And you're right. I mean, that looked like he almost had nothing there, but, you know, great feet. He's able to get 8 yards at almost nothing.
For the best, the game slows down for them, right? And that's what we see from a guy who uses his legs so well to speed things up. Fake handoff, and there's Beelan up the middle. Beelan gets past the secondary, and a huge run by the junior QB. He'll get out to the 25-yard line, a 20-yard gain.
And another read option, and this is really giving St. Anthony's fits right now because he just sits and he's so calm, and they jump to Antoine, and Beelan is dynamic, right? Just shakes off a couple tacklers, too. Strong.
I shorted him 10 yards. It was on his side of midfield, so 35 yards. As Beelan slings it, has a receiver upfield, and that was Kenji Burnham. And Hayes looks like they're cooking here on this drive.
Yeah, I think this is great play call by the Hayes staff. You're running, and then you hit him with a little play action, and Kenji Burnham is wide open in the flats for another long completion.
1st and goal from the 7-yard line for Cardinal Hayes, looking to extend their lead here in South Huntington. Beelan cuts it upfield, and he is down. I think the ball came loose, but he's down at the 3.
Yeah, Hayes runs quarterback power with Beelan. Not a lot of quarterbacks do you want to, run power with, but he's so strong and so fast. It's like having another running back there.
2nd and goal from the 3 now for Cardinal Hayes. Antoine's the back. He gets it, lowers the shoulder. And good job defensively by St. Anthony's. Looks like Charzuk was among the tacklers, big number 94. Urso in there too.
Yeah, nice job. And yeah, you get to a 3rd down now, and that's exactly what you want to do when you're in goal line, is just keep making a stop every down. I think you're going to see probably Beelan maybe ride this and keep it himself, give him that run-pass option.
Cleveland Charlton is your lone receiver at the bottom of your screen. Good target man. He'll be joined there. Here's Beelan. What a play by Beelan. Touchdown for Cardinal Hayes. Ken G. Burnham.
This is a really well-designed play, and they ran that play action, but they didn't have to roll him. Kenji is the blocker in the beginning of this, right? He hits Vidaro, and then he just leaks out as Vidaro tries to close the gap. Really well-designed play, and you said it, Hayes is cooking right now.
So a 3-yard touchdown pass from Beelan to Burnham. As now Hayes, Downer is your holder. And again, Beelan will attempt the PAT. The kick is up, and it is good. So Cardinal Hayes, C.J. O'Neill must like what he sees from his squad. They've got a 14-0 lead here in the 2nd quarter. You're watching this Catholic playoff contest presented by Maspeth Federal Savings and the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching Varsity Media, New York's high school sports network. Are you a local business looking for new and creative ways to promote your company? Varsity Media offers affordable rates that can get your message across to a demographic of 18 to 54 years of age. Our follower base across social media is over 50,000 strong, and our viewership numbers per game are in the thousands. Don't blow your advertising budget on old staples like TV and radio media. Reach out to Varsity Media to get the best bang for your buck.
Welcome back to Cy Donnelly Field. Dylan Butler, Tom Rooney with you, and Rich Beeland has orchestrated himself a nice 14-point cushion. Played just before this kickoff, a 3-yard touchdown pass to Ken G. Burnham. Before that, it was Kenneth Antoine, an 84-yard touchdown run, as St. Anthony's will look to try to push the ball. And I have been impressed early on, Tom, I'm sure you have as well, by the Hayes defense, because that was the question really early on in the year. We knew they could put up points like nobody's business, but can they get stops? And I feel like C.J. O'Neill and his coaching staff, they do the best job of any coaching staff of having their team be the best version of themselves by the end of the season. And this defense, they don't look like the ones that have given up 50, 40 points during the regular season. Incomplete pass on first down.
Yeah, St. Anthony's has been able to, get a few first downs and have some positive plays, but when it's come time to make a stop, Hayes has made the stops, right? And if you're St. Anthony's, you have the ability to score points. You've scored points all year, but you get the feeling that they need a drive right now because this Hayes offense is feeling like they could kind of do what they want.
Merrill fumbles and gets it off. He was grabbed by his neck almost and just barely having to use that strength to throw an incomplete pass. So things not going the way for the Friars right now. You see that somehow avoiding Kamari Valentine's reach. 6'3", 315 junior from Harlem.
Yeah, did a good job just to get the ball away and avoid a loss.
There's an injured Cardinal Hayes player down on the fields, which is why we have this stoppage. Reminder, folks, really wherever they are, the Varsity Media Sports Network will present the Catholic High School Football League Championships. Traditionally at Mitchell Athletic Complex, a triple header. We've had that the last couple of years. Maybe the location changes this year based on the strength of the league, but we'll see as these playoffs continue. But wherever they are, Varsity Media will be here to bring you all of the action. So second time now we've seen Derek Lopez come up, limp off the field. I was about to say it's a Hayes team that is now getting healthy at the right time. In fact, Aldrich Bayaki, he is just back in the lineup after injuring himself in the regular season game against St. Anthony. So he missed the entire season until this game. Downer, his linebacking partner there, also back. So here we go. Merrill over the middle, and he bounces that one incomplete.
Yeah, Merrill was hit as he threw that one. That's a tough spot. That's not where St. Anthony's really thrives, in that third and long where Merrill basically has to be a passer.
So Eli Garcia is deep for Cardinal Hayes, and their crowd feeling pretty excited about the opportunity here of maybe tacking on, maybe getting some good field position. Luke Aschheim onto punt, and there's a flag. Did St. Anthony's not get it off in time? Or a false start, it looks like, against them.
Yeah, right now things are not going the way of the St. Anthony's Friars. And, you know, it may seem like, you know, an innocuous little penalty, a 5-yard false start, but you're looking at giving Hayes great field position here. Now you have a really dynamic returner in Garcia who's standing at midfield, and the Hayes guys are going to go after this punt.
Yeah, you have to get this snap off if you're St. Anthony's. You do. And Aschheim gets off a good one. It will not be returned, although it does take a little bit of a Hayes bounce to midfield. Let's take a look at the journey for Cardinal Hayes this year. And it started off on the road. Nice win in the Philadelphia area over Episcopal Academy. Then that loss here by 1. And what a win over Pope John at Columbia. Last minute, Beelan makes the touchdown. I think it was Eli Garcia made that catch. And then you beat C. Of course, there's that big win in the year, beating Stepinac at home. And then you beat Trinity. You lose to Iona. You end the season with wins over Christ the King and Chaminade. And of course, there's that Thanksgiving game that is always circled for any Hazeman or Mount St. Michael Mountaineer. There goes Antoine. Looks like, it's funny too, because at least from our vantage point, it looks like he doesn't have room to move on that sideline, and yet he just continues to motor forward.
Yeah, Antoine, this is similar to the play that he busted for a touchdown, and you have a right tackle in Jaden Mann, who is, you know, 6'4", 6'5", 285 pounds. And Antoine kind of hides behind him and then bounces to the outside. You know, guys get their hands on him, but it's not enough. He's such a powerful runner.
You do have an experienced offensive line here for Cardinal Hayes. We'll detail them in a moment. Gain of 6 on first down for Antoine. He'll get the ball back again, cuts it inside, pushes it forward for a first down. But that offensive line, it's Norris Anderson or Darrell Jenkins first at left tackle. He's a senior, back from last year. Norris Anderson, your left guard, is back. Danny Frazier is the only guy who didn't start. He stepped in for Juan Diaz, who was the leader at center last year. And then Dunn and Mann, that's really like the highlight there of your defense, or of your offensive line, excuse me, as Beelan is sacked again.
Looked like Urso.
It is Urso again.
Yeah, Urso's doing a nice job fighting in there. And looked like they were trying to get down the field. Balin had to hold on to the ball just a little bit longer than he normally does. And Urso does a nice job of wrapping him up. Not an easy guy to bring down.
So 2nd and 16 from the St. Anthony's 44-yard line. Beelan, play action. He's got a man deep. He looks that way. There's some contact downfield, and there is a flag as well. It was Cleveland Charlton as the intended target, and this should be pass interference against the Friars.
Yeah, you kind of felt like at some point they were going to attack this matchup. Balelo's a really good athlete, but he's only about 5'8", 5'9", and Charlton goes 6'5". So you have a good size advantage, and a first down play like that is a great opportunity to go. And you see Charlton gets a nice clean release, and Balin has the arm strength to throw it down there. And not a ton of contact, but Balelo gets him a little bit, and the officials throw the flag.
It doesn't move the chains. It's 15 yards, so it's a 2nd and 1 after that pass interference. A flag is thrown as Antoine found some room, but the reason he did so was because there was a hold on the offense. Chris Atchison has been busy tonight. Right from the opening kickoff.
Yeah, we've had a number of flags, and right now it's really the only thing that is keeping St. Anthony's in this game is the ability to Hayes make some mistakes, and they got to try to capitalize on this right now and get a stop, put him in 2nd and long.
There you see the conversation C.J. O'Neill having with Rich Beelan. Beelan, a guy who was thrown into the Wolves a year ago. He was a sophomore playing behind a very young line, and that's a recipe for some difficulties, no doubt. But Beelan has survived those adversities, and now he's thriving this year, finding Eli Garcia to move the chains.
Garcia is, they seem to have this kind of relationship, right? And Beeline is throwing the ball to the boundary here, and Garcia understands how to go and get the ball, does a nice job of getting separation, and picks up another Hayes first down.
Yeah, you wonder how long they played together, right? Both guys from Harlem as well. Garcia a year older as a senior, 1st and 10 now from the 26-yard line. Beelan slings it, and he finds Garcia. Had a nice block there on the edge, and he dives towards the sticks. I think it was Reed Jones, number 8, with that block.
Yeah, this Hayes offense is doing a nice job of keeping St. Anthony's off balance. Just a wide receiver screen to your playmaker out in space. He does a nice job of getting 9 yards.
So a 2nd and 1. There's a handoff to the outside. Another first down run. As it was Mohamed Traore who had the run.
Yeah, haven't called his name a lot. Giving Antoine a little breather and a chance to catch his breath and get back on the field now for a first down for Hayes.
Yeah, Sincere Darrell and John Weaver, those have been usually on the depth chart. High snap and a flag. Gary Tucker was a guy who was injured early in this season, did not come back. False start against Cardinal Hayes. That was a good-looking run, though, by Traore.
So another penalty by Hayes, and if you're St. Anthony's, you got him behind the sticks. You got to get a stand right here. You got to tackle in the open field. You got to solve this read option that Beeline is running, and you want to really keep them off the board here.
Beelan slings it this side, trying to make the one-handed grab. It was Garcia. It was Ott in coverage.
Yeah, nice job by Ott. And they went to this same little out that Garcia's running from the slot, so he's got to throw the ball all the way across the field, and Ott does a nice job of closing the gap.
He's played well this year, 44 tackles in that strong safety position. Baseball guy as well. Is that Brian? Graduated St. Francis Prep my year with me. Was a basketball standout for the Terriers. Not much there on that run by Antoine.
Yeah, nice job by Sam Cook there. And you're St. Anthony's now. This is a huge play. You got him in 3rd and 15. We know how calm Beelan is in 3rd and 15, but this is a big play.
Beelan rolls right behind Antoine. The sticks go flying, and that's good coverage. Looks like Moore was involved in the tackle, 24, as the Friars do get a stop.
Yeah, Moore's a really good player at that corner over there.
See Bolello in there as well.
Now, Beelan could probably kick a field goal from here.
Yeah.
There's really not much he can't do. But I think you're going to see Coach O'Neill. This is a chance, right, to maybe get an early dagger.
Yeah, go for the jugular. And he mentioned all those great words, right, and the pressure, and this is what you play for, as a timeout called by St. Anthony's. So, yeah, it's not quite the riverboat gambler, right, but you know that CJ wants to take a 21-point lead if he can. We showed you Hayes' journey here. Let's take a look at St. Anthony's schedule this year. And it started with that loss, that week 0 loss to Del Barton. And then there's that big win against Hayes. And that really gave momentum, especially to a new quarterback, right? And Gary Mellor. What a signature win the next week. Maybe the best of any team this year in the Catholic League. Out of conference in that Battle of the Bridge, beating St. Joe's 42-34, followed by another really impressive one, right? Beating Iona, a tight one in the rivalry game against Chaminade, and then a convincing win over Christ the King. And then Farrell came here, and that was their big win, right? They announced themselves as a team that is right in the mix. A 27-21 win. You bounce back against Holy Trinity on the road, and there's that loss you mentioned last week to end the regular season, 56-35. And what that loss did was, had St. Anthony's won that game, as they did last year in White Plains the last week of the season, they would have been the 1 seed, right? You would have had that rivalry renewed with Chaminade again. And I think the Flyers actually would have probably liked that as well. Would have been a nice doubleheader. We had the younger levels of Chaminade and St. Anthony's on the field here before the start of this one. But instead, you lose that game, and now you're in a tough one. You're in a dogfight here in the 4-5 game.
Yeah, this is a tough matchup because they're both really good teams, and this feels like a huge play right here, Dylan. Only the second quarter, but they need a stop.
And it is so big that Hayes will also talk things over. But that was some game on the younger level, right? I mean,
yeah.
I know. Like you weren't announcing it. You were wearing the dad hat in that one, but that was an incredible battle between St. Anthony's and Chaminade.
When those two teams meet, I don't think it matters the sport or what the rankings are. It always feels like it's going to be a close game, and it wound up going overtime, and St. Anthony's blocks an extra point in the second overtime to win 28-27. And just a great game. Really well-played game by both teams. Exciting stuff.
And you see on the top left, you want to scan that QR code. You can follow us on our social media handles at Varsity Media on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. It is playoff season here at Varsity Media. It's a busy time as well. We just had a whole bunch of boys and girls soccer games and field hockey. We'll have volleyball and all of Nassau County's semifinals and championship games to watch those games going forward. And football is right around the corner next weekend. We are going to camp out at Hofstra-Stewart Stadium. Go to varsitymediapass.com to order. So, Tom, after timeouts for both sides, this anticipated big play looks like we're ready for it. 4th and 14 for Cardinal Hayes. Beelan fakes the handoff, ducks under. Beelan has room. Beelan cuts inside. Touchdown, Cardinal Hayes. 17-yard score for Rich Beelan.
If you're St. Anthony's, this is so frustrating. You did so many things well on this play. You covered, right? You got a great rush. Beelan has no one to throw to, and he just gets out of trouble, and this is why he's such a tremendous player. His ability to scramble and make something out of nothing, just a tremendous football player.
His 10th rushing touchdown of the year, his 30th overall. Actually 31 because he threw a touchdown pass earlier in this game. So Downer is the holder, and now Beelan will look for the PAT. The kick is up, and it is good. And Cardinal Hayes has opened up a 21-0 lead over St. Anthony's. 2:04 left in the first half. This Catholic AAA playoff contest presented by Maspeth Federal Savings right here in the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports. High school sports fans, Varsity Media is the exclusive live stream media partner of Nassau County Playoffs. For semifinal and championship coverage of soccer, volleyball, field hockey, and football, head to varsitymediapass.com to order. Varsity Media is the home for New York high school sports.
We welcome you back to Cy Donnelly Field. Dylan Butler, Tom Maroney, the entire Varsity Media crew, and to this point, it has been the Rich Beelan show. Nothing the junior hasn't done to this point. Kicked the 3-point after attempts. St. Anthony's needs a big play. They might get one here. Look at the run down that far sideline on that opening kickoff. Impressive stuff from Kevin Moore.
Yeah, really talented athlete, Kevin Moore. Stays really calm on that bouncing ball and a kickoff. You know how hard sometimes that is to handle. And give St. Anthony's a little bit of life here. You know, you got 2 minutes, but you also have a dynamic quarterback. You have dynamic players. And, you know, if you can get on the board here, you'll feel a whole lot better going into halftime.
Yeah, I mean, cliche, right, to say it, but this is a big drive.
Yes.
Here for the Friars. You need points, and you do have great field position to start as well from the Cardinal Hayes 42-yard line. Empty backfield for Merrill. Flush out of the pocket. Merrill rolls to the left, breaks a tackle there, and he will dance himself out of bounds. A first down run for Gary Merrill.
Yeah, Merrill's watching Beelan, you know, run around, and he says, you know, I can do that too, right? And this is his strength. You know, he can throw the ball, but he's really, really good at extending plays and getting out into the open field. Nice run.
1st and 10 from the Hayes 29-yard line. Again, empty backfield. We'll play 2-minute drill here as Merrill faked it a few times and even faked getting out of bounds. Got a couple extra yards before he did get pushed out.
I mentioned before how calm he is with the ball, and he has nothing there. He doesn't force it, and he uses that pump fake to get, I think it was Valentine, up in the air, and then gets himself 6 yards and gets out of bounds. So nice job by Merrill.
And the first time that we saw him execute on the varsity that 2-minute drill was against Hayes, needing to win it late as well. So these Cardinals have seen Merrill do just this. Fakes the handoff. Merrill tries to push it forward. St. Anthony's does have 2 timeouts remaining, as does Hayes here in the first half. 3rd and 1. So the chains, if you get a first down, that will stop the clock to move the chains. Merrill will get the call from his sideline.
Last time they needed a yard, they went Merrill on a quarterback keep right up the middle. I don't think you'll see it again.
He slings it out this near side. And that was incomplete. It looked like he did have an opportunity, though. There was some room there to run for Merrill. And now you got to deal with a 4th and 1.
Yeah, this feels like we've been here before, right? St. Anthony's has driven the ball down the field. They've kind of stalled right in this area, right before you get into the red zone. You know, it's only a yard, but that big D line from Hayes makes it a little more difficult than just running for a yard.
4th and 1. Here we go. Merrill looks deep, and that is incomplete. The intended target was Kenner, and another defensive stop for Cardinal Hayes.
Hayes does a good job of blanketing KJ Duff, and I think taking away Merrill's first look, and had a chance down the field and just overthrew him.
And now if you're in that huddle right now, Tom, you've really got a chance here. You've got 2 timeouts. You have the explosive playmakers. You're inside the final minute. You could really go for it here.
Yeah, this is house money right here. I mean, you have the big receiver, Charlton, on the outside, and you got Beelan, who can extend plays and really do damage in the broken play.
I think he's only targeted Charlton once, right? That was a pass interference. You see him there. He's at the bottom of your screen right now. Beelan instead hands off on 1st down to Antoine. Has broken a few tackles and pushes himself forward. Antoine got the scoring started for Cardinal Hayes. 84-yard touchdown. First big play of this game. And there's Antoine. He'll come off for this play as Traore comes back in. There's the fake, the sling to this side. It's Eli Garcia, and he makes that angled run out of bounds to about the 40-yard line. 39 to be exact. 13 seconds left in the second quarter. Again, both teams with 2 timeouts.
Yeah, this may be the spot where you see them go after the matchup down here with Charlton.
They'll look the other way. Beelan, nice hit. The reception was made by Garcia. And Hayes, looks like they will run out of time on this last drive. Interesting there, where there were no timeouts called. And maybe that would just kind of just be safe. Listen, we've got a 21-0 lead. Things are going well.
Right.
Let's not turn the ball over here, and let's go into halftime with a comfortable lead.
I think that's exactly what it was. Run some plays, see if your playmakers can bust one. But if you're Hayes, 21-0, you're in a great spot. Don't make any mistakes.
So the 5th seed here in the quarterfinals, Cardinal Hayes, they made a long journey from the Bronx, and they have a 21-0 lead over St. Anthony's. You're watching this Catholic AAA quarterfinal contest presented by Maspeth Federal Savings and the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Federal Savings is here through it all. The ins and outs, the ups and downs. Through the winters, the summers, and even the spring of leaks. Know that Maspeth has your back. From luxury sheets to balance sheets to dancing under the stars, your mission is our mission. And when our community calls, we proudly step forward. So whether you need it now or planning for tomorrow, through all the twists and all the turns, you can always find us right here in your neighborhood.
High school sports fans, Varsity Media is the exclusive live stream media partner of Nassau County Playoffs. For semifinal and championship coverage of soccer, volleyball, field hockey, and football, head to varsitymediapass.com to order. Varsity Media is the home for New York high school sports.
At Catholic Health, when we see our island, we see extraordinary life. The most extraordinary of which is you. It's because our Catholic faith places the highest value on people. All people. It's the inspiration for our exceptional medical care with unmatched compassion. And it's why at Catholic Health you're more than a patient. You're someone's family, best friend, and a neighbor to us all. Long live Long Island.
Did you know Varsity Media now offers action photography for all sporting events? Available for individuals or teams, we'll send dedicated photographers down to field level to capture your best moments. Our rates are affordable and our photos will leave you with lasting memories for a lifetime. Contact us today, mention this ad, and get $25 off your first order. Email ben@varsitymedia.net or call 516-403-2050. Varsity Media offers live streaming services for any sport. With human beings behind the camera, you can expect the proper coverage angles during each game. We offer customizable options such as live scoreboard, multiple cameras, instant replay, graphics, and even announcers. Find out how you can save $100 off a live stream package with Varsity Media by calling 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
Feel like your game film is too stagnant and not providing you with the insight that your coaches had hoped for? Varsity Media offers game film to help your coaches develop a game plan to execute on game day. Our current clients love the Varsity Media difference, which includes more insightful camera angles and a speedy upload process. Start building your championship team today with award-winning individuals at Varsity Media. Did you just have the best athletic year of your life? And now you want to show it off to college coaches? Well, let Varsity Media help you. Varsity Media's college recruiting videos show off your unique skills to help you land a spot on the team of your dream school. We'll provide music, spot shadow effects, and a link to send to your next coach. Contact us today for more information. Don't rely on word of mouth or cold emails. Let Varsity Media help you take your game to the next level.
Hey sports fans, did you know Varsity Media live stream broadcasts get viewed by college coaches nationwide? Through our announcers' storytelling and insight on your athletes, we can help your players get an edge on college recruiting. Find out how by reaching out to Varsity Media today, 516-403-2050, or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
Varsity Media is the most beloved high school sports network in New York, but don't take it from us.
I like how Varsity Media, I'm able to watch the game on YouTube after, and then commentators, all the highlights. It's cool to see myself almost on TV.
I like how Varsity Media is so professional.
What I love about Varsity Media is hearing Coach Hungerford announce games. Mr. Rooney's my favorite. I like the food reviews.
I love how my relatives from out of state can also watch the games.
Varsity Media, New York's high school sports network.
We welcome you back to South Huntington. Dylan Butler, Tom Rooney with you. It is halftime, and it is St. Anthony's trailing 21-0 to Cardinal Hayes. We welcome you inside the booth here. Dylan, Tom here with you. An impressive first half for Cardinal Hayes. Again, it's a team that I think during the regular season struggled defensively throughout. But you talk about best versions of yourselves in November, and you'd certainly say Cardinal Hayes is that.
Yeah, if there was any question about their defense, not anymore. I mean, that first half was really, really clean. They did not let Duff get more than a couple catches, minimal yards after the catch. Really bottled in Gary Merrill, which isn't easy to do. It looks like they're kind of spying him on every passing down. And, you know, when your offense can strike the way Hayes' offense can strike, you really just need your defense to not give up big plays, right? Because when you get the ball, you're going to score. So at this point, you know, Hayes is in total control of this game.
And that was the known, right? The offense of Hayes was the known. It was the defense was a little bit of the unknown, but they are playing their best game. You see some of the other scores here of the quarterfinals, and none of the other three are close. Certainly all the favorites flexing their muscles. It's a Farrell late lead, 36-0, that over Holy Trinity. 49-6, Iona with the lead in that one as well. Over Kellenberg and Stepanak, 41-0 lead over Chaminade at halftime. So the folks at St. Anthony's would probably get a little bit of solace and enjoying that score, but they've got their work cut out for them in the second half, trying to stop this explosive Cardinal Hayes offense. And it started right away with Kenneth Antoine. You know, and we talked about Beelan and Charlton and the receivers, but it was Antoine here going 84 yards to the house.
Yeah, and we talked a little bit in the opener about how explosive Antoine can be, and you see the breakaway speed. He's a really, really tough runner, and I give a lot of credit to the offensive line on that play. Kenji Durham with a nice block on the edge, and Antoine does the rest.
So that gave Hayes the 7-0 lead late in the first quarter. And then Beelan would find his buddy Ken G after the faked handoff. Just dumps it across, 3-yard touchdown pass. The Beelan PAT would make it 14-0 midway through the second quarter.
Yeah, and that was a really well-designed play. If you remember, St. Anthony's had a couple stops on the goal line, and we kind of felt like if they get another stop, this would be, could be a huge turn of events. But Beelan is just so tough throwing the ball or you can't really figure out what he's going to do.
And then a bit of the backbreaker came on 4th and 14 from the 17-yard line. And again, Beelan gets some nice blocking up front, ducks under, and then does what he does best. Gets into open space and dives into the end zone. A 17-yard touchdown on 4th and 14. And that extended the Cardinal Hayes lead to 21-0 late in the second quarter.
Right now, Rich Beelan is the best football player on this field. He is dynamic. He is throwing the ball well. He is running the ball exceptionally well. And it's when the play breaks down, he is just so good at making something out of nothing.
We'll take a look at some of the rushing leaders in the AAA division, Tom. And listen, there are some great names there, certainly, and a lot of quarterbacks. It shows you the dual ability of some of these guys. Merrill, you see, second in the AAA with 900 rushing yards behind Lorenzo Robinson, the running back for Stepanak. But then Nafis Muhammad, we saw him with Farrell doing such a great job to lead the Lions to that win. And then see Rich Beelan right behind his buddy, Kenneth Antoine, 4 and 5. And Joey Gaston, the Iona Prep QB right there as well. Pinto, the quarterback for Monsignor Farrell.
Yeah, the game has evolved. If you have a dual threat quarterback like Merrill, like Beelan, you're so hard to defend.
Let's take a look at some of the other leaders in the Catholic League. Receiving yards, KJ Duff leading that line, and right behind him a couple of the Hazemen, Charlton and Garcia. A good one in Steve Dowdy at Iona, and the difficult twosome of Hooper and Worrell for Archbishop Stepanak. Bree Jones also, 3 Hayes receivers part of that list.
Yeah, really impressed. Charlton is kind of like that deep threat down the field, but Garcia runs tremendous routes, has a great relationship, it looks like, with Beelan, and the ability to get open. That's a tough duo to stop.
And you see the lefty slinger, Will Currid. Feels like he's in his 12th year at Stepanak. You see him throwing for 2,400 yards to lead the Crusaders to the #1 seed. Beelan, Gaston, Granito behind him, and then it's Merrill, Noe, Pinto, and Josiah Patrick for Holy Trinity. But it's certainly, listen, Currid's been waiting for this season. He's got the Crusaders in as the top seed. They look well on their way to winning and advancing and having a home game in the semifinals, a tough place to play in White Plains. So you see one of the reasons why is, of course, the great play of their senior southpaw at QB.
Yeah, I was really impressed with him last week, Currid. He's very calm in the pocket. He's got a lot of weapons there. They have a tremendous 1-2 punch in the backfield, and Worrell is a game breaker. He doesn't look at, he's not that big, but when he gets the ball in open space, he makes things happen for Stepanak. That's a dangerous team.
Cardinal Hayes, a dangerous team as well, and they've got a 21-0 lead over St. Anthony's. Second half when we return right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
With Federal Savings is here through it all. The ins and outs, the ups and downs. Through the winters, the summers, and even the spring of leaks. Know that Maspeth has your back. From luxury sheets to balance sheets to dancing under the stars, your mission is our mission. And when our community calls, we proudly step forward. So whether you need it now or planning for tomorrow, through all the twists and all the turns, you can always find us right here in your neighborhood.
High school sports fans, Varsity Media is the exclusive live stream media partner of Nassau County Playoffs. For semifinal and championship coverage of soccer, volleyball, field hockey, and football, head to varsitymediapass.com to order. Varsity Media is the home for New York high school sports.
At Catholic Health, when we see our island, we see extraordinary life. The most extraordinary of which is you. It's because our Catholic faith places the highest value on people. All people. It's the inspiration for our exceptional medical care with unmatched compassion. And it's why at Catholic Health you're more than a patient. You're someone's family, best friend, and a neighbor to us all. Long live Long Island.
Did you know Varsity Media now offers action photography for all sporting events? Available for individuals or teams, we'll send dedicated photographers down to field level to capture your best moments. Our rates are affordable and our photos will leave you with lasting memories for a lifetime. Contact us today, mention this ad, and get $25 off your first order. Email ben@varsitymedia.net or call 516-403-2050. Varsity Media offers live streaming services for any sport. With human beings behind the camera, you can expect the proper coverage angles during each game. We offer customizable options such as live scoreboard, multiple cameras, instant replay, graphics, and even announcers. Find out how you can save $100 off a live stream package with Varsity Media by calling 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
Feel like your game film is too stagnant and not providing you with the insight that your coaches had hoped for? Varsity Media offers game film to help your coaches develop a game plan to execute on game day. Our current clients love the Varsity Media difference, which includes more insightful camera angles and a speedy upload process. Start building your championship team today with award-winning individuals at Varsity Media. Did you just have the best athletic year of your life, and now you want to show it off to college coaches? Well, let Varsity Media help you. Varsity Media's college recruiting videos show off your unique skills to help you land a spot on the team of your dream school. We'll provide music, spot shadow effects, and a link to send to your next coach. Contact us today for more information. Don't rely on word of mouth or cold emails. Let Varsity Media help you take your game to the next level.
Hey sports fans, did you know Varsity Media live stream broadcasts get viewed by college coaches nationwide? Through our announcers' storytelling and insight on your athletes, we can help your players get an edge on college recruiting. Find out how by reaching out to Varsity Media today, 516-403-2050, or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
Varsity Media is the most beloved high school sports network in New York, but don't take it from us.
I like how Varsity Media, I'm able to watch the game on YouTube after, and then commentators, all the highlights. It's cool to see myself almost on TV.
I like how Varsity Media is so professional.
What I love about Varsity Media is hearing Coach Hungerford announce games. Mr. Rooney's my favorite. I like the food reviews.
I love how my relatives from out of state can also watch the games.
Varsity Media, New York's high school sports network.
It has been a long flight for that Cardinal, but he likes what he sees from that sideline as Cardinal Hayes, a 21-0 lead over St. Anthony, second half moments away. Dylan Butler, Tom Rooney here, our entire Varsity Media crew for this quarterfinal clash. It was a 1-point game in the regular season, but again, teams make adjustments, and we spoke to both coaches about what do you take from the first one, and Joe Minucci said, listen, obviously, you have your base of what you do schematically, and that's what you see early in the season, and then you build off of that base. And also, the base is also when things are tough and when you're struggling, you go to that base. So maybe that's something to see here in the second half for St. Anthony's.
Yeah, I think St. Anthony's has to go back to the bread and butter, which is Merrill and Duff. You know, Duff had 2 catches in the first half. They got to find a way to get him the ball more. And they got to get Merrill out of the pocket where he has those run-pass options. But what St. Anthony's really has to do, Dylan, is that they got to get a stop. They have not been able to consistently stop Hayes' offense, and a lot has to do with Rich Beelan.
And Cardinal Hayes on the other side, C.J. O'Neill says, listen, between maturation and development and finding out what you do and what you don't do well, there's obviously a lot of morphing that goes on from the beginning of the season to the end. It's not to say that we're both not doing the same stuff, but there's a lot of things that do change. And so he says you're going to try things, and the things that were successful, you maybe try it again, see if you get stopped. But as we said at halftime, the offense clicking and the defense really getting the job done as well. And it was a pretty, outside of some penalties, a pretty clean first half for Cardinal Hayes.
Right. They stayed away from the big mistake. They put their hands in Rich Beelan a lot, whether it was that run option, read option, I should say, or the run pass option. And that's a good formula, right? I mean, he's made some really good decisions, and he's dynamic when he has the ball. And Coach O'Neill felt good, you know, when we spoke to him this week about how healthy his team was and where they were at. And that's always key when you get into a playoff run. You know, has your team developed? Is your team healthy? Are you kind of hitting your stride? And it looks right now like this is a Hayes team that is primed to make a run at this title.
They last won the AAA title in 2019, beating Stepanak 25-7. It was a year after losing to Stepanak. They also beat Stepanak in 16 after losing to Stepanak in 15. It won't likely be a collision course there because you're lined up bracket-wise to face Stepanak now in the semifinals should Cardinal Hayes be victorious here. Short kickoff fielded. Even that was a clean one for Cardinal Hayes as Reed Jones picked up the ball, and a big opening drive now of the second half for both teams.
Right, and before we anoint, you know, Cardinal Hayes as the, you know, semifinalist, they gotta finish this game. And, you know, I'm sure that was the message by Coach O'Neill at halftime. You know, it's nice to have a 21-point lead, but we know how good this St. Anthony's offense can be once it gets going. So this is a big drive. If St. Anthony's can get a stop and get a score, the whole feel of this game changes.
Momentum shifts can happen at any given moment. And St. Anthony's at this point looking for that opportunity. 1st and 10 for Cardinal Hayes from their own 37-yard line. Beelan fakes the pass, has a nice blocker upfield, and Antoine cuts it to the outside. There's a flag. This will come back. It'll be a hold on Jaden Mann, the right tackle, number 77.
Yeah, a little quarterback draw, and you know, sometimes as an offensive lineman, you do get caught because your quarterback is dancing around and you don't know which direction he's going. And it looked like Jaden Mann had a good piece of one of those St. Anthony's defenders.
I like the blocking by Antoine after the fake handoff. He goes up the middle to block there, but it did go to the outside, and that's where 77 Mann, the right tackle, had the holding penalty. So it backs Hayes up. Looks like to the 31-yard line.
This isn't unfamiliar territory for Hayes. They've had a number of penalties in the first half, and for a lot of teams, when you get behind the sticks, there's a little bit of panic. You know, what do we do? And they've just kind of stayed with their game plan.
I was about to say, how many times in the sport of football do you see a holding penalty just absolutely derail things? As this time, the St. Anthony's defense comes up with a big play. And when we've called out the St. Anthony's defense making a big play, more often than not, it's been big number 88.
Yeah, Urso's been fantastic tonight. Winning his matchup, been in the backfield, couple sacks. And you see here, just fighting off the block and doing a nice job getting Beelan down.
So this will push Hayes back even more. It'll be a 2nd and 20 for the Cardinals. Beelan scrambles, looking Charlton's way, cuts inside of a tackler, still on his feet and finally pulled down at about the 35-yard line. Like Vidaro and Cook in on the tackle.
Yeah, a little frustrating if you're St. Anthony's, because you had a chance to drop him for a pretty good loss, and Beelan just so elusive out in the open field, and he's able to get a few back and make this a 3rd and manageable.
3rd and 11 for Cardinal Hayes. Eli Garcia goes to the outside. Snap, high. Ball over the middle, trying to find Garcia. And it's intercepted. And of course, number 1 makes the play. KJ Duff, is that the play that ignites things for the Friars?
Yeah, nice job. They get pressure on Beelan here, Urso in the backfield. That's Vidaro coming right into his face there. And Duff has got great hands, always seems to be around the football. And, let's see if they can take advantage. This is the spark.
Deflected, you see there as well, off of Garcia, right in to the arms of Duff. 1st and 10 from midfield. And it's Duff in motion, and there's a little bit more motion there on that left side of the line. It's going to be against Cardinal Hayes. So now the excitement on the sideline for St. Anthony's and from the stands as well.
Yeah, I think the people here at Cy Donnelly Stadium can feel, right, how important this drive is, right? If St. Anthony's can put a drive together here and get it in the end zone, I think you're going to feel just a whole different energy.
Fake handoff, pass over the middle, and that is incomplete. I think it was Meme was the intended target.
Yeah, they put Duff in motion here, and I think you got the eyes of the Hayes guys looking at Duff. Pretty good play design, just couldn't connect.
That's what we thought again, too, right? To get him into a lot of different looks, get him moving a lot. There you see him again, moving late. Tripped nearly, gets the ball in the backfield. Now tries to make a play. Duff spun, nearly lost the football, and he goes right back into his arms. Smart again, 32 in on the tackle.
Yeah, Duff comes in motion, and it looks like he kind of got tripped up in the backfield, or I think this play would have been a little bit more productive.
He's a Rutgers verbal commit, but offers have not stopped coming his way. Tennessee, the last. Here's Merrill pushing forward, and he will get the first down. Look at the big boys up front. You've got Dowling and McGregor and Chanchuli, McNaughton and Novelli.
Yeah, they've tried to run Merrill. This time they run him behind McGregor, and McGregor's a really good-looking left tackle there. And they changed the formation, which I like. Nice job by this coaching staff. Changing formations. Now they've changed snap count, and they got Hayes backed up now.
And you see there, that was Chanchuli knocked over, so another penalty against Cardinal Hayes. Chanchuli, younger brother of Carson, who is such a standout on this offensive line for years. Part of that championship squad last year for the Friars. Here's Alfaro to the outside. Some extra burst in his steps. And Alfaro will get the first down.
I like what St. Anthony's does here. They go with a tight bunch formation, and they're so concerned about Duff going deep and the receivers release, and it allows Alfaro here to bounce to the outside. Good seal by McGregor, and you see a lot of room out there for Alfaro. And, yeah, nice job, first down.
A little bit of face mask there as well. Now he tried to go up the middle and sent backwards violently. Big number 96 in on the tackle. That's Blake Beelan.
Yeah, you want to know what a Power 5 defensive tackle looks like? There he is right there. Right.
UConn, Duke, Jackson State, Maryland, Minnesota offers for the 3-year starting junior. Loss of 1, 2nd and 11 for St. Anthony's. Now some trickery. Duff, he'll throw the ball, and it's a good one. Meme, he was down,
This is a big call right here.
It is. No! It was James Taylor, 34, who slid. We'll have another look, Tom.
Yeah, great play design. A little reverse pass with Duff, and Taylor is wide open. He slips in the end zone, and really tough to see if he caught it, got his hands underneath. That's a missed opportunity right there for St. Anthony's.
And it was 6 should he had not slipped. So 3rd and 11 now. Merrill rolls, goes end zone, intercepted. So Hayes makes the big play defensively. And it's Tyrone Smith, his 3rd interception of the season.
Yeah, Merrill trying to go down the field here. I don't think he saw Smith. And he comes over from his safety spot. Just a really nice play.
Not part of the starters. There's a flag on the play. I believe this was after the play, though. Dead ball, unsportsmanlike against Hayes. Perhaps on the celebration there for Hayes. Some taunting, perhaps. So this will push them back. But Smith, part of a rotation at safety, along with the 2 Rays, Cruz and Boyd, in that secondary. The junior makes some big plays. 3rd interception of the season, and what a time for it as well.
Yeah, they brought him in with that package. It was a passing down, so they went with an extra defensive back, and he just read it and does a really nice job. This penalty could turn out to be a big penalty if they can get a stop here, Dylan, because it backs them all the way up to their goal line. And, listen, it's unfortunate, but you have a chance to get a big stop here and pin Hayes deep if you're St. Anthony's.
Yeah, so that went half the distance, which obviously there wasn't a lot of room to go to begin with. So Beelan will operate from his own end zone. Tries to push himself forward just to get out of some danger. More among those in on the tackle. Vidaro as well.
Yeah, Vidaro's tough. Vidaro, remember, blew out his ACL last football season.
Against Stepanek, yeah.
Worked all the way back and has been just so impactful for this defense.
And he wasn't just working himself back for the spring, for the lacrosse season. He wanted to be back in time for the football season. Again from his own end zone. Beelan this time goes and airs it out up this near sideline. And it's Eli Garcia. And it's interesting, too. He's got such a great connection with Garcia. And Charlton, receiving-wise, body-wise, is your most dangerous guy, right? But Garcia's been the safety valve.
Yeah. Garcia's got a great feel to get into space, but this is more about the play design. It's an RPO. He has the ability to hand it off. He can throw it or he can run it, and Garcia was wide open.
1st and 10 from the 25-yard line. There's Antoine. Good pursuit to the football there by the Friars. So not much of a gain. Maybe about a gain of 2 for Antoine, who got the scoring started for Hayes. 84 yards in what was a tightly contested, kind of a feeling out process of a first quarter. And that was the first big punch thrown.
Yeah, in a 0-0 game, and you get an 84-yard touchdown, it just feels different, right? It kind of broke the seal for Cardinal Hayes.
2nd and 7 from the 28-yard line. There's Beelan. Garcia in motion. Fakes the handoff. He gets by Urso, just dumps it under to Kenji Burnham. And Burnham will get another first down, taken down at the 40. You've got such a collection, Tom, of receivers, right?
I was just thinking there's so many weapons here. Burnham is almost playing the role of like a Travis Kelce, like an H-back. He actually stays in to chip and block and then just releases and finds space. And Beelan is so calm and finds him in all that traffic.
There's an injured, I think it's Burnham actually, who is down for Hayes, so it's an injury timeout, but this gives us an opportunity. Tom, we've seen him on the field. Let's get to know Rich Beelan a little bit better. Favorite football player, of course, right? Cammy Cam. You would expect that, right?
Yeah, plays just like him.
Mom's favorite cooking. She goes rum cake. I like that. And Drewski, Kyrie Irving, and Coco Jones are the three, perhaps to have a little bit of Mama Beelan's rum cake.
There you go. I'm not going to pretend that I know who Drewski is, but the other two.
Drewski's going to bring the jokes.
Okay.
Kyrie, he'll bring something to the table. Interesting, certainly.
Interesting guy, sure.
Yes. And Coco will, she'll bring her singing ability, good-looking girl as well. So
there you go.
But the Beelan family, listen, it started with Father Henry. He was a defensive end at Vanderbilt. Played from 84 to 86. Mother Rita of the rum cake ability, a lawyer as well. And we know, of course, older brother Henry, a quarterback at Duke. The connection to Cardinal Hayes, interestingly, came from Willie Colon. He attends Pastor Beelan's church, the First AME Church, Bethel in Harlem. As there goes Beelan to the outside. Nice gain on first down.
Yeah,
so Willie Colon, of course, a former Hayes great, winning a Super Bowl with the Steelers. And actually, that was a turnover. Among all of that massive humanity, St. Anthony's gets the turnover. Let's see if we can pick that up here.
Yeah, it didn't look like it from first glance, but Beelan just fighting for extra yards here. The ball, Urso
forced it out, and then his buddies came in to clean it up. So another big play defensively for St. Anthony's, another window of opportunity.
Right, we thought maybe the Duff interception was the spark, and maybe this is it. Urso's been around the football a lot.
Here comes Merrill. A little more giddy up in his step right now, and he'll get out to about the 43-yard line.
Yeah, if you're St. Anthony's, there's a lot of time. You're going to get more possessions. It's important that this one, you put a touchdown on the board, right? So, you get 4 or 5 yards on first down, you're good with that. You don't want to take too much time, but you really need to get this. This drive has to end in points, and they're back to this bunch formation.
Hand off to Alfaro, and he is thrown backwards. And that was Valentine that time, bringing it. That was like a 2-point takedown on the wrestling mat.
Yeah, Alfaro getting thrown to the ground by a 315-pound D tackle. That is not fun. He is really, really good.
And great get off, uses his hands well. Spent the offseason in the weight room, and it shows. 3rd and 7. Merrill flushed out, tucks it under. Merrill doing what he's done all season. What a play by Gary Merrill when you desperately needed to move the chains. He gives it to you, getting it to the 30-yard line.
Yeah, that's a great play by Merrill. And if you're St. Anthony's, I think you have to kind of ride this the rest of the way. I don't know how much success you're going to have running tackle to tackle, but Merrill gives you this ability, right? He gets out into open space, gets just 12 yards, and now you're back in this spot where they've stalled a whole bunch tonight, but they're 1st and 10.
Yeah, 1st and 10 from the 30-yard line. Merrill, pressure comes his way, goes to Duff, makes the catch, and Duff is pulled down at the 1.
You're not going to hold KJ Duff down for very long. He does a nice job, gets a great release. Merrill with a really nice pass, and Duff just short. Just short. They had success last time running off tackle behind McGregor. Let's see if they use that left side again.
Merrill kicks it inside. Did he get in? No indication yet from the officials, so just shy was Merrill. He thought he was in.
So did the crowd here.
So no gain on first down.
I think you're going to see a repeat.
Merrill kicks it out a little bit further and cuts it inside for the score. So yes, off of the turnover, Merrill gets in the end zone, exactly what St. Anthony's needed.
Yeah, nice job by Merrill getting in behind. You've seen KJ Duff out there blocking. And a great response by St. Anthony's. You know, that penalty that backed up Hayes, you know, came into play because they started putting a drive together, but they had to drive off their own goal line, and then they made the mistake that Coach O'Neill talked about they had to avoid.
The extra point attempt is up and good by Michael Forrest. So Merrill's 1-yard touchdown run plus the PAT. We got a new game, 21-7 now the lead for Hayes with 3:04 left in this third quarter. If St. Anthony's gets things done defensively, this is a guy that they're going to lean on going forward, Davin Foote. Let's get to meet Mr. Foote now. His favorite football weather, he loves that heavy rain.
Well, he's had a great fall, so.
He did. There are plenty of opportunities for Foote to love his favorite weather. His bagel spot, Bagel Biz in Melville. He'll go toasted everything with butter. And he is more of the zip-up than the hoodie guy for those heavy, rainy fall days.
Yeah, I don't think he puts the hood all the way up, though, man. He's got great hair. You got to let that.
You're right.
You got to let that out.
So Davin Foote, part of a St. Anthony's defense that's looking to make a big stop.
So this game just got a little interesting, right, Dylan? Because it felt like Hayes was in cruise control. They could kind of do what they wanted, and St. Anthony's needed that spark, and they got it.
Oh, an onside kick that takes a bounce.
Oh, what a play. Is that Beelan?
We're waiting for him to emerge. Yeah, it looks like 96. Listen, in the pregame, we saw some good hands from Blake Beelan.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, that was like that last bounce was perfect. And you see 22 for St. Anthony's. Malik was right there.
Yeah, how do you like your 6'3", 280-pound D tackle going up and getting
on the hands team?
Going up and getting it.
It's exactly the way C.J. O'Neill drew that one up. I like the idea there for St. Anthony's. You want to try something?
Oh, listen, it was there,
and it was nearly
right
perfectly
there.
Executed.
Yep.
So 1st and 10 from the 42-yard line for Cardinal Hayes. Beelan, time. Look at this look down the field. Beelan, does he have a man? He does! But it was dropped at the very last second. Eli Garcia in and out of his hands. Look at how far Beelan got this ball.
Oh, my goodness. That ball was 55 yards in the air.
And it was Ott.
Yeah.
Ott wrestles that one at the very last second. And that's the textbook not giving up on a play.
100%. Garcia had a step, but Ott was, I mean, that's good coverage. He's right there and plays the ball great as the ball's coming into Garcia. I've been impressed with Ott all year. He makes a ton of tackles. He's a really good football player in the back end there for St. Anthony's.
At 44 on the season. Big play for the Friars defensively. 2nd and 10. Charlton in motion. He'll get this handoff. And he meets Sam Cook.
That was Cook and James Taylor coming up. We normally see a lot of Taylor on offense. Taylor or Moore? Maybe I have the wrong number. No, that was Taylor.
Yeah. Trust your first decision.
Yeah, that's right.
So 3rd and 8 now. A big one in this game. The crowd on both sides getting loud here at Cy Donnelly Field. And there's Beelan, cut short.
Well, you know they're going to go for it here, and it looks like they're going to go quick on the line.
They need to get Charlton back onside. They do. Do not jump is certainly the words from the St. Anthony's sideline. Good job there. And they did not jump.
This is a big decision right now for Coach O'Neill.
I think they're also going to put time on the clock. It wasn't moving after that play, so this is an officials timeout here as they'll discuss maybe how much time will be put or taken off the clock. So Chris Atchison will make the move as they'll look to wind this clock now.
Dylan, we had back-to-back plays there by Brendan Ott. He chases Garcia down on that long bomb from Beelan and knocks the ball away. And on the very next play, on the scramble, comes up and tackles Beelan short of the first down.
Yeah, an athletic.
They're bringing their offense back on.
And there you see Ott, part of an athletic family. We mentioned Dad Brian before, played baseball, basketball at St. Francis Prep. Now a battalion chief, Battalion 39 in East New York in the FDNY. Mom Tracy, she played volleyball and softball at Queens College. Here we go, 4th and 1.
They love Garcia in the flat here.
Now Beelan rolls it out, goes over the middle, he finds Charlton. Charlton, the catch, going to the end zone. Touchdown, Cardinal Hayes, a backbreaker. You wondered when they would get the ball to Charlton. They do on 4th and 1.
Beelan with a play action, so calm as he looks over this coverage, and Charlton is just wide open. And Cleveland Charlton is a fast young man when he gets in the open field, and that's a really tough play for the St. Anthony's defense. You get him into a 4th and 2, and they go for a touchdown.
The second touchdown Cardinal Hayes has scored on a 4th down conversion. It was Beelan calling his own number for 17 yards. That was back on 4th and 14. And Beelan's PAT sneaks just over the upright. So it's 28-7 now for Cleveland Charlton and Cardinal Hayes. You're watching this Catholic AAA quarterfinal showdown presented by Maspeth Federal Savings and the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
At Catholic Health, when we see our island, we see extraordinary life. The most extraordinary of which is you. It's because our Catholic faith places the highest value on people. All people. It's the inspiration for our exceptional medical care with unmatched compassion. And it's why at Catholic Health you're more than a patient. You're someone's family, best friend, and a neighbor to us all. Long live Long Island.
Welcome back to Cy Donnelly Field. The fans to our left who made the long journey from the Bronx, they are pumped, and for good reason. That is Hayes with a 28-7 lead over St. Anthony's. They respond to St. Anthony's first score with their 4th. And there's Meme on the kickoff return. As you know, as good as you felt if you're St. Anthony's, you're cutting the deficit. You've got a 4th down from midfield, and that was crushing for the Friars as Beelan found Charlton for 51 yards.
Yeah, you got to have a short memory right now. You got plenty of time. We're still in the 3rd quarter. You got plenty of guys who can make plays on the St. Anthony's offense. You got to get right back to work and try to drive the field.
Merrill fakes the handoff. Look out. Pressure's coming his way. Ducks out of that as he's done so well all season. He dunked it underneath to Kenner.
Not easy to shake off Valentine. And Merrill shows you how strong he is right there. And listen, if you're St. Anthony's, positive plays is how you're going to get back in this.
Second and 7. Smart looks to pressure from the outside, and another completed pass. This to Meme, which will move the sticks.
Yeah, Brandon Meme's a good player.
And Meme's a guy, too, Tom, who was inserted into that second target role after Alex Mengi went down with his knee injury.
Yeah, and you feel like, you know, there's only so many times that Duff's going to be open. It's going to have to be somebody else getting open for Merrill.
Inside the final minute of the third quarter, Merrill flushed out. Sideline. The intended target was Duff, but a terrific job defensively by Zayden Jeffrey, number 7, just knocking that down. Listen, this is a guy who played wide receiver last year, so he knows the routes. He knows he's got good hands.
Right, and this is just a great close as Merrill's scrambling out of there. He sees Duff, and Jeffrey saw him too.
2nd and 10 from the 44-yard line, 45 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Merrill. Oh, he's eaten up there. It is Beelan with the sack. For Beelan, sack number 6 on the season. And he enjoys Mom Rita's rum cake a little bit.
Oh, yeah. Sometimes sacks are, you know, a great play by the D-line, and sometimes it's a coverage sack. And that one was a coverage sack, and, you know, Beelan just keeps working towards the quarterback and gets there.
3rd and 13. Again, chased. This time, Merrill ducks it under. Nice job as Merrill looks like he's forced out. It was Jeffrey to do so, but he does move the chains.
This is how the last scoring drive for St. Anthony's got kick-started, and that is Merrill finding his way to scramble and get first downs. And he can't be afraid to do that. There's still plenty of time here. Does a good job of getting out of bounds as well.
Merrill rolls left. Now looks back the other way, and there's another sack. Flexing. Number 9, Andrew McFall. And the Cardinal Hayes defense, man, they have brought it downer. Not stopping him, and McFall with the great motor makes the big play on that sack. So that's the end of the third quarter. And the defending state champion, that's one of the words too, right, that C.J. O'Neill said to us. Listen, yes, maybe some of the personnel is different, but there's a lot of guys on this St. Anthony's team that experienced winning a league and state championship team. So, you know, he was certainly very concerned about coming out here against a vaunted St. Anthony's team.
Yeah, he talked about them understanding how to win, and he thought that was the difference in the first game, that they had that sort of winning pedigree, and it did concern him. Right now, St. Anthony's has to be concerned with a 2nd and 25.
He called the duo of Merrill and Duff as Merrill ducks it out. Look at Merrill staying up there. And that's a big carry for Merrill after those sacks had pushed them back so far. But said of Merrill and Duff, did C.J. O'Neill, the probably the most intimidating quarterback wide receiver duo, the most threatening that they're going to face this year.
Yeah, he knows exactly. Listen, he's scouted these guys well. And you saw a little taste of that with Merrill.
Handoff, Alfaro cuts it inside, turns at the 20, pushes himself forward. That's a good job by Alfaro. I was about to say he was going too much sideline to sideline, but then he cut it up for a nice gain. There's another injured Hayes player down. So the trainers will come out. Some scores will show you on the top of your screen. Also want to remind you to subscribe to us here on the Varsity Media YouTube channel. This time it was Downer. And he's a guy, too, who's been banged up this year. Giovanni Downer was finally healthy here for the playoffs. He and Boyaki both banged up. See the final from Staten Island. Monsignor Farrell winning 36-0. So Rocco Del Priore's guys move on. Will they have to head up to Iona? We will see. Big fourth down here. 4th and 1 for the Friars. Merrill to the outside.
Looks like he got it.
Yeah, just even with that lean, right? He gets to the 15. So big play there by Gary Merrill. This really the only of these quarterfinal games that are even close.
Well, St. Anthony struggled with 4th down in the first half, and now they've converted a bunch.
1st and 10 from the 16-yard line. Merrill, good protection. He's got Kenner making that move, and Kenner makes the catch, angling his run, and gets it out, and he'll move the chains as well.
Yeah, nice job by Kenner. You're going to get 1st and goal here, and he gets out of bounds to stop the clock.
1st and goal from the 5. Merrill cuts it inside. Merrill! Touchdown, Friars.
Great answer by the St. Anthony's offense, and that was a really nice read by Merrill. He'd been bouncing that run, that quarterback power run outside to the left, and he sticks his foot in the dirt, sees an opening right up the middle. Nice blocking up front, number 77 for St. Anthony's there. That was Bryce Chanchuli. I feel like you like saying Chanchuli. That's a fun name.
It is a fun name, and also from the same town as I, so I need to make sure I get his name right, because the Chanchulis are big guys, so I don't want to upset them. The PAT is good, and again, will that be the life that St. Anthony's needs to make another 4th quarter comeback? They trail by 14, 10:35 left in the 4th. We'll take a quick break. 4th quarter continues right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
This is Solomon Thomas with the New York Jets, and you're watching Varsity Media.
Maspeth Federal Savings is here through it all. The ins and outs, the ups and downs. Through the winters, the summers, and even the spring of leaks. Know that Maspeth has your back. From luxury sheets to balance sheets to dancing under the stars, your mission is our mission. And when our community calls, we proudly step forward. So whether you need it now or planning for tomorrow, through all the twists and all the turns, you can always find us right here in your neighborhood.
We welcome you back to Cy Donnelly Field. Dylan Butler, Tom Rooney, the entire Varsity Media crew with you here. Early portions of the 4th quarter. We saw St. Anthony's nearly capitalize on an onside kick previously. Michael Forrest, will he repeat that? We joked during the break, you want to keep it away from 96 on that far side.
Yeah, he made such a nice play on the last one. They have KJ Duff out now. If we get another big bounce, you might see him go after it.
Oh, a little one-handed attempted catch. That was a little bit dangerous, wasn't it, by Ray Boyd. And again, the Catholic High School Football League Championships right here in the Varsity Media Sports Network. Yes, Chris Stevens and Xavier, will they win another title? They won it in the AA2. They're now competing in AA1. All of the championship games on the Varsity Media Sports Network. Always such a fun late fall afternoon just before Thanksgiving. Usually a tremendous triple header at Mitchell Athletic Complex. We'll see if that's the case here this year. But one thing that we do know is St. Anthony's needing a stop here, and certainly want to make sure that Hayes doesn't move the chains. Here's Beelan Back to pass. He will go long, looking again for Charlton, and he finds him! What a play from Beelan to Charlton. That was from his own 25-yard line. Charlton slow to get up, feeling it looks like the hamstring.
Well, Beelan shows off his arm strength right here. There's really, nothing fancy about what they did here. Charlton just streaking down the field. Moore's not in terrible coverage. Charlton is just a really, really good, receiver out there with great speed. And Beelan must have thrown that ball 60 yards in the air, Dylan.
So certainly concern there for Cleveland Charlton, who will come off here. Immediately went to go feel for his hamstring there.
But what about the play call by Coach O'Neill and his staff? Normally in that situation, 10 minutes to go, you're up 2 touchdowns. You're thinking about milking the clock. You don't want to stop the clock on a pass. And they just stay aggressive, right? They stay aggressive and go to their big playmaker down the field. And he makes a great play.
So from your own 25-yard line now to the St. Anthony's 17. Beelan cuts it to the outside. Beelan turns the corner. Touchdown. Cardinal Hayes, 17 yards. So 2 plays are all the Cardinals needed to find the end zone as a 17-yard touchdown run by Rich Beelan.
Yeah, they're going to sell like this is, a read option, but they're pulling guys. This is quarterback counter. And they lead with Kenji Burnham there, and Beelan does the rest. Beelan is so tough. He's such a good runner. He's strong and fast and obviously can throw the ball. Tremendous quarterback.
Now Beelan, the kicker, comes on. It's Downer to hold. Snap is low. Downer does a good job to get it up, and Beelan puts it through the uprights. So it seems like every time that momentum seems to be going St. Anthony's way, that man number 3, has the response.
Yeah, and his coach has such trust, right, in him. You're trying to put a game away, and you don't take the old-fashioned route. You say, I have a great quarterback, right? We like a matchup. He'll make a play, and that's exactly what he does.
So it was Beelan to Charlton for 58 yards, and then Beelan runs it in. So that is his second rushing touchdown of the game. He's thrown for 2 scores as well. He's kicked every extra point. He's probably that guy you want if there is such a thing as Catholic Football League fantasy. That's the good guy to have on your side.
I mean, there's literally nothing he can't do right now. I mean, he's got a kickoff right here. The only saving grace for St. Anthony's was
so fast.
It was so fast.
Yeah.
So there's still, that number on the clock there that makes this still plausible if you can get a quick score.
So Beelan, that's the only thing he hasn't done yet is play defense. And there is KJ Duff up the sideline. He started his senior year with a kickoff return against Del Barton. And this time he gets the ball back to the 43 of Cardinal Hayes.
Yeah, they've been playing a little cat and mouse game with that kickoff, putting Duff either deep or up. And that time he was able to finally get his hands on a kickoff. And you see how tough he is to bring down. I mean, contact was made, and he probably still got another 15 yards.
Iona won 49-12. So Iona has advanced. Farrell has advanced. Who will make it here? What a grab. Wow. Taylor. Obviously no quit in these Friars.
Yeah, nice job by Merrill on the run, just dropping it in. That's a great pass and a great catch by Taylor.
Merrill looking for options, still looking, and he will step his way out of bounds.
Yeah, it looked like he wanted to try to get the ball to Duff in the back of the end zone. He just had too much pressure in his face for him to throw the ball, but it smartly gets out of bounds and saves some clock.
Ball at the 14-yard line, 9:17 remaining in the fourth quarter. Merrill, pressure comes, and he is sacked again. Downer. Giovanni Downer, again, just back from injury, and what an impact he's making.
Yeah, Merrill's trying to go down the field here, and it just breaks down on him. Downer just runs over a blocker, and, Coach O'Neill's happy to have him back.
And Downer and Boyaki, big parts of this defense. Merrill back to pass. Again, it's Beelan. The flag is thrown. He does get the pass off to Duff, but let's see what the flag is here. As Beelan, he's just a little bit winded right now if they're doing all that running after Merrill. When you do chase a quarterback like Merrill, you are logging a lot of miles. It's a lot of steps in big number 96.
Yeah, and he's been out there for every snap. I've seen a couple other guys rotate in, but Valentine and Beelan have been on the D-line for just about every snap here. And it looks like you're going to get a hold on the St. Anthony's offensive line.
Yeah, I wondered if maybe it would have been declined. You're already facing a 3rd and 17. You don't want the playmakers to maybe have another opportunity, but they will take it looks like. So it brings up a 3rd and 30. Merrill gets on his horse. Pulled down. You saw 7, Zayden Jeffrey on the tackle. Good job by Merrill to get back a lot of those yards lost between the sack and the holding penalty.
He is incredibly tough.
And it looks like there's another injured Cardinal Hayes player down. So another kind of a free timeout, right, for St. Anthony. You see some of the finals in the Catholic Football League. Monsignor Farrell, man, I thought throughout the year, and I've told some folks, I think that's the team that can win this year because of the way they play defense, because of the way that Muhammad runs the football. But they were in tight games against Stepanak and Iona, and obviously here getting a signature win.
Yeah, I was impressed with the way they ran the ball against St. Anthony's that night. Really took control of the game. Old school, right? Just flat out running the ball.
And some dudes defensively as well.
Oh, yeah. Run to the football really well. Play with a lot of emotion, right? Coming from that coaching staff. Farrell is a very impressive team. And you've said this, we know Iona Prep is a really, really good team, has a big win tonight. Stepanak is a really good team, has a really good team that with a big win tonight. And Hayes is showing they have the medal too. This is an impressive display so far.
The winner of this game will go up to White Plains to take on Stepanak in the semifinals. The other semifinal is, I believe, set now with with Farrell going to Iona. Merrill's got to run backwards, gets that pass off, and it is intercepted at the 5-yard line. There is a flag, though. Corey Rock is celebrating his 3rd interception of the year. And another opportunity that goes awry for the Friars in the red zone.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Merrill has to throw this ball, right? He's going to throw into traffic. It's 4th and 11. He's got to throw it up there. And Rock just makes a great play on the ball.
Maybe one of the better names of a defensive player, right? At corner, Corey Rock.
Yeah.
2-year starter. It's a position that it's so difficult to play, right? It takes a lot of experience, and that's what the senior from the Bronx has brought.
Feel like this Hayes team has all the balance that you need to win football games, right? They're really big in the trenches. They got athletes on offense all over the place. They got guys that want to run and hit you on defense, and guys like Rock on the back end who can go and get the football.
Beelan from his own end zone hands this ball off, and this is what you expected from their previous drive, right? Go run heavy, utilize that clock as Antoine gets a few yards on first down.
Yeah, nice play by Churzik getting over there. But, yeah, I would expect this is going to be heavy run here. Want to probably get a little bit farther off your end line before you punt this ball if you have to. But this will be Beelan keeping or Antoine running.
Clock ticking here as it approaches 7 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. Beelan up the middle himself, scrambles, cuts to the outside. It's Vidaro getting past his tackle, and he's finally pulled down, moving the chains, getting to the 25-yard line.
Yeah, this is read option, and Beelan is going to put it in Antoine's gut and pull it right out and go right up the middle.
You need special players if you want to go on a championship run, and listen, this is a league that has some really terrific quarterbacks.
Right.
I would go to war with Rich Beelan, there's no doubt.
He's impressed me with how calm he is in making all these decisions, and then when he needs to burst, he bursts.
Takes that ball himself. Look at the smart football IQ there, right? Doesn't want to bounce it to the outside, slides to keep that clock going.
Right, he's not going to run out of bounds or let himself get pushed out of bounds. I mean, this is a football family, right? This is
Absolutely.
A kid who's been around football his whole life. You know, brother plays at a high level. Obviously, very smart, disciplined kids, the Beelan kids, and you see it right there.
I just want the invite to the Thanksgiving. Well, actually, they can't even play on Thanksgiving.
That's right. They'll be busy.
They're playing Mount St. Michael. Maybe after that. But what a football game that is, right? Dad Henry, again, played at Vanderbilt. Son, a quarterback at Duke. And here's Antoine. He broke it for a big play early to get things going. And look at this angled run. Antoine in the end zone again. 69 yards for Kenneth Antoine. And Cardinal Hayes has broken this game wide open.
Yeah, that's the dagger. And this is Antoine showing his ability to read blocks, gets into second level, cuts back on the defense. He really hasn't carried the ball a whole lot. They've used him more of a decoy, and Beelan has kept the ball. But when he has, man, he's shown some real breakaway speed.
So Antoine's second rushing touchdown, and that's the reason why we showed him as a player to watch in this one, his ability to run the football. He went for 84 yards to get the scoring started for Cardinal Hayes, and this one a 69-yard touchdown run. And Downer to hold for Beelan. Good snap, kick is up, and it is good. Cardinal Hayes has done very little wrong here on their trip to Suffolk County. They lead at 42-14 with 5:19 left in the fourth quarter.
And when we spoke with the coaches, I had said to you, you just get the feeling that this Hayes team is very confident. They really liked where they're at. You know, we talked a little bit earlier about how healthy they were. and where all the playmakers that they have and the guys they got back in the middle of their defense, the linebackers, and that's how you make a run. That's how you become a championship team. You're healthy at the right time. You're hitting your stride. Right now, offensively, you hope Charlton is healthy going into next week, but you get the feeling that they have so much at their disposal offensively between Anton and Beelan and Garcia and, we're just guy after guy.
And remember, too, they're the only team to have beaten Stepanak in the regular season in the league.
Right.
So they'll go to White Plains. They did that at home at Columbia. Now they'll have to go to White Plains to do it.
Yeah, they don't look like they're bothered on the road. And quite
that
frankly,
guy's not.
No.
He'll make the short flight from the Bronx to White Plains.
Are we sure that's not Rich Beelan? I mean, he's done everything else.
It might be.
And a big crowd came here from Hayes. Kudos to the Hayes faithful for coming out and supporting their guys on a Friday night and making the trip.
Ball fielded by Duff. Waits for his blockers. Tries to cut it to the outside. Now goes the other way. Reverse, taken down though. Nothing doing for KJ Duff. A frustrating evening for Duff and the Friars. And time will revisit some of those keys that both coaches indicated. And let's see. What are we checking off here?
I think the biggest thing is execute on offense. Their execution has been tremendous. Listen, Merrill and Duff have had their moments for sure. I think for the most part, you would say they have contained them. They've done a good job. And, St. Anthony's never quite was able to run the football. And the second one there really sticks out right now. They did not contain Beelan in the pocket. And listen, it's not from a lack of effort. It's not from a scheme thing. Beelan is just a tremendous player. I mean, he's as good as it gets.
And the third one also, the big plays, the explosive plays have been a big advantage for Cardinal Hayes here this evening.
Huge. Antoine's big runs, Charlton down the field, Beelan with his feet, and they're really, really good football team.
Cardinal Hayes 7-2 on the season. One of their two losses to St. Anthony's, the other to Iona Prep. So they'll avenge one of their two defeats.
And we talked about it. They could have won that game week one. I mean, that was...
Sure, and they led it late.
Right. St. Anthony's has to go for two to win the game with, a handful of seconds on the clock, right? So they were not deterred coming in here at all. And what we've seen is that confidence that Coach O'Neill had, quiet, not cocky at all, just a sort of quiet confidence that his kids were in the right place, the right headspace and everything. Has really shown up here tonight. And
you got to think, too, on that bus ride back, as dejected as the Cardinals were that evening, listen, CJ's, he's a longtime coach. He's been at this a while. He knew there were buttons that he could push there to come back here. He wanted to come back here.
Yep. And that's, an experienced coach looks at that situation week one, and I'm sure he spun it to his team. Hey, we will see these guys again. We're going to get a chance to revenge this and, avenge this, I should say. And that's exactly what they did here tonight. And if you're St. Anthony's, there's no reason to hang your head. One, you lost to a very good team here. Two, we haven't talked about it too much, but this is a team that has just, been decimated by injuries. And, losing guys like Preston Carey in the middle of your defense and Mengi and...
Well, even it starts, right? Again, in this Hayes game, week one, it was Peyton Robinson, right? He was going to battle with Gary Merrill, throws a touchdown pass to KJ Duff, fractured his tibia. Now, of course, Merrill, as we didn't know at the time, turned out to be a fantastic quarterback, but then the next week, Mengi goes out after having a terrific first half against St. Joe's Regional. You miss him, but again, it's the next man up. But how many times can you go to the well with the next man up? Johnny Russo, the most latest in the offense. You mentioned Preston Carey on the other side of things, really also playing good offense too. Justin Kasha, an outside linebacker, he got hurt against St. Joe's Regional. So, I mean, that's a lot of guys to have been injured and kind of stayed injured, right? I mean, Hayes had those injuries. They were early, and those guys have made their way back. So now they're healthy at the right time of the season. St. Anthony's just never got healthy.
No. And that, listen, there's a lot of really good football players in this school, and we said earlier they're not going to make excuses, but it does have an effect. Eventually, there is a drop in talent, and sometimes it's a depth thing, and it's a tough way to go out. They're a championship program, and they showed that last year, and they'll be back, right? We know that Coach Minucci will have this program back.
And to that point, Tom, right, you look up and down like some of these starters. Merrill, what an experience he had first year as a quarterback. He's back, right? And even you've got Peyton Robinson, right? So you could have that tandem at quarterback. Alfaro, the starting running back, is back. Taylor, Kenner, they're back as well. You've got almost everyone in your line except for C.J. Novelli back. And it's an offensive line that matured as the season went along. Obviously, right, the elephant in the room is you lose K.J. Duff.
Right.
And that's kind of an irreplaceable part, as special of a player as he is. But on the defensive side as well, Charzuk and Urso, what a season Cam Urso has had. Andrew Thompson as a junior linebacker. Ott is a junior. Valerio's a junior. Moore is a sophomore. And James Taylor is a junior. That's your whole secondary, your whole starting secondary.
Right. Yeah, there's plenty of guys returning. Listen, KJ Duff is an absolute tremendous talent, right? A Big Ten type football player here in our backyard, and there is no replacing that. But there will be other guys who will be ready to play football for the Friars next year.
Yeah, and as that's a personal foul, as obviously the seconds are in for these sides, as Brendan Howard, the backup quarterback, ran for a first down on fourth down, and then the personal foul will tack onto it. But yeah, expect the Friars, again, in a league where you reload when you're at the top portion of it. The Hayeses, the Ionas, the Stepanaks, they all just reload, and so too will these Friars.
Yep. Listen, some seasons you're able to dodge the injury bullet, and things go your way, and sometimes they don't. That's the nature of high school football.
They were largely healthy last year when they went 11-1 and winning the Catholic League title, their 15th AAA championship, and then going on and winning a first ever state title. But this is a Hayes team, very, very impressive on the evening. We mentioned their championship pedigree. It's interesting, too, all along with this journey for C.J. O'Neill in his 21st season, they have lost and won championships on all three levels. Right? Back when it was just called the A and the AA, they won on both, and they've won in the AAA as well. 2 AAA titles, 1 AA, 1 A. Their last coming in 2019, and the guys from the Bronx, they are hungry for more silverware. An impressive performance coming to St. Anthony's and winning this one 42-14. So big win for Cardinal Hayes, and we will show you the updated bracket. And outside of this one, it was chalk. But look at that semifinal, those 2 semifinals. I mean, worth the price of admission, those 2, both up in Westchester County.
Yeah, any one of these 4 teams can win this. We know that. And these games are going to be tremendous.
Hayes going to Stepanak. They've already have a win over Stepanak. Farrell and Iona. Farrell had a 21-10 lead against Iona. And Iona kind of wore down Farrell, something that hadn't happened to Farrell all year. So that's in the back of Rocco Del Priore's mind and his coaching staff. The one sort of caveat here, as you see the 2 teams shaking hands, the coaching staffs as well, here's an interesting note. Farrell and Hayes have not played this year. In all of the different parts, and this team beat that team, and this team upset, they didn't play this year yet.
Wouldn't that be interesting, right?
Might they meet in the AAA championship?
Yeah, well, they both have tough tasks in front of them, and this was a really big time performance by this Hayes team, and my hat is off to them and what they did, and to the St. Anthony seniors, they left a great legacy here. KJ Duff and Vidaro and other guys that have really made their mark here on the football scene.
The only thing they did wrong was they went to the wrong end zone to celebrate. The Cardinal's going to point them the other way. This way, boys. I'm going to fly with you. St. Anthony's, their season after a championship season ends at 6-4. They lost their last 2 football games. Regular season finale to Stepanak. And again, look how much that proved to be a pivotal loss, right? Like, I mean, who knows if you win this game, but it's a lot more of a winnable game against maybe a Chaminade or another team that you've already played before and beaten. Cardinal Hayes, they will improve to 8-2 on the season. And listen, CJ was already chirping a little bit. I don't know, is it unfair that we've got to go to Stepanak? We've got 8 wins on the season. We beat them, but the PowerPoints are the PowerPoints, and those guys, they'll celebrate this. They'll have a nice bus ride back to the Bronx tonight, and then it's back to work for Cardinal Hayes as they sing their fight song in the end zone. A big one coming up against Stepanak. It should be a fun Final Four, and of course we'll get to the final portion of the season. It is all going to be right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network. The AAA Championship, the AA1, AA2, it's all right here. We can't wait to see who emerges from next weekend's semifinals. So that'll do it here from Cy Donnelly Field. Final score once again, Cardinal Hayes 42-14 victors over St. Anthony's. For our entire Varsity Media crew, our executive producer Ben Turchin, our technical director Chris Sweeney, of course Becca Kazaks and Travis DeLuise bringing you all those great moving images, Jared Veluzzi, our intern, my broadcast partner Tom Rooney, Dylan Butler, thanking you again for joining us from South Huntington. We look forward to seeing you next time right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.